gotta unmute yourself there.
Oh no! So you didn't hear me saying back with another video? No. What's good, people?
What's up?
Missed the whole intro.
I know, right? Missed everything. I blew it all up. Hey, what's up, everybody, man? Guru here, your neighborhood Judge Punch man.
What?
Man, we'll talk on that too. I'm gonna give you a different perspective on the Judge Punch, and I'm gonna tell you why. We can kick it off right now with that too.
All right, well, let's let everybody know what we're here, and then we're going to go straight to that. So what we here for? So this past weekend, these two gentlemen that's below us here, Alan and TV, they ran a game at Sherwood Forest, Infinite Wars. We couldn't make the game. It was a dope game that we heard about. We wanted to play. We should have played.
Should have stayed.
Fluff out the way. So we got the brains behind the game here. We're going to talk about the game and get the meat and potatoes of how everything went. Word is yours, Alan.
Oh man, well, let's start with Judge Punches, because I actually talked to Red Feather about this, because Red Feather is going to end up adopting the penalty point system that we use with RTT.
Okay.
Because the way Judge Punches work now is, let me guess, 1 punch, 2 punch, and on the third punch they remove you, and then you don't get a prize or whatever. You don't get in the raffle at the end. Is usually how that works.
Yeah.
Actually, the way it works now is if you get any Judge Punch, you're not in the raffle.
Oh, the horror of the raffle! If you're paying. Sometimes it can subsidize while you're there, but it's not really important. You've already got all the gear.
Correct.
You're already a veteran player. So you need to look at it like an NBA foul. Traditionally, people a tournament of 1-for-1 is whatever in a tournament. But in a scenario, as soon as somebody says they get a Judge Punch, they're like, "You're calling me a cheater, goddammit." I'm saying chill on that. If I have to 1-for-1 somebody in front of a referee to get a mission done, and you're going to give me a Judge Punch system to work with, yeah, I'm going to use those first 2 Judge Punches exactly like you would an NBA foul. And I'm never going to take that personally. And I'm going to use it as a weapon in the game. Now, if there's penalty points and you deduct points and I don't get that mission, then I'm not going to behave that way. So you got to have a penalty point system is all I'm saying.
And I think that makes perfectly sense. The penalty system makes sense because, again, you kind of looking at a player a little bit differently if you cause me to lose points.
Yep.
Yeah. And we had 2. And we found that people who pre-register for our events don't get penalties. And the people that just show up and walk on, statistically, none of them read the rules.
They believe it or not, they're the bigger troublemakers.
They are the problem.
The walk-ons are the problem, as we've determined the last couple of games, for the most part. I'm not saying all walk-ons. I'm just saying statistically, people that don't pre-reg are not normally invested in the style of game that you're putting on. Normally, they're just coming to play paintball, and they didn't read the rules, and they all think reading rules is a joke. I mean, that's a big thing going on right now where they're all laughing like, rules. Yeah, why do we need rules? No, the thing is there's a truthful undercurrent to it where they don't want to read the rules. That
meme is funny because it's true.
Yeah, it's a stereotype. But it's a stereotype because it's true.
But see, I'm a little bit different. Like I said, when B-Rad was throwing this game, like I was on his head, like, hey, when the rules coming out, like I need to know the rules. I need to know my lines. I'm sorry. I mean, again, you can take it for what it's worth, right? I need to know my lines. I need to know what's hard and fast, no, what's hard and fast, yeah, and where I can play in between.
Well, we can branch out a little bit because I can say having a command meeting with you, you and I are not the normal type of player that's attending an event.
Yeah.
So we read the rules.
Yeah.
And you saw how I read the rules and then how I interpret them.
Exactly.
So for those who don't know, Matt is XOing. Dwan is the commander for Blue Super Game Midwest.
Yep.
You are the XO.
I'm one of them. I'm down there.
Well, I'm not. I wouldn't call myself. I'm an advisor.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm technically advising, and Rob Rivera has come on. Firefly to advise with us, and he wants to see kind of the weird shit that I'm up to.
You're right. Yeah, he loved that shit. His ass is going to love that shit.
Yeah. So everybody out there, play Blue at Super Game. You probably want to come with us. We're going to have well over 100 on the app. We're going to give away achievements for that are worth points long term in our game. So if you're playing both Super Game and RTT in October, that's worth a point just for playing with us at Super Game.
Right. There we go.
Okay. So, and while talking about Super Game, what we actually started this episode to talk about was kind of how games are made, right? We want to do an event. And the most basic thing of starting with the event, if I'm just kind of giving myself notes of where I'm at, is you have to have a venue. And that's the hard part. And the easiest way to get a venue is simply play there a lot and talk to the owner and make friends. Eventually, you can probably talk and say, hey, I want to do a game here. I know enough people. We can get it together. Yep. Everybody can get together a local game at a field. And the biggest thing to ensure at your local game is, this always sounds ridiculous, but the first thing you have to look up is number of toilets. Go to your draw.
Yep.
Just hear him out. Just hear him out, people. Just hear him out, right? Just hear him out. Go ahead.
Nope.
All events are logistics, and logistics start at the number of toilets.
Yep.
So if you have a party culture, you have to actually have a modifier to increase the number of toilets and add a pump out on Saturday night for all the people that have, partied and destroyed themselves in the porta potties.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, because everybody's found somebody asleep in there at some point. If you play scenarios long enough, you've had to, roll some drunk out of a porta potty at probably like 9 o'clock on a Saturday. And then if you're the producer, you have to not only do you have to deal with that, but you got to get those nasty porta potties pumped out the second day, and that doubles your expenses right off the bat. So you have to know to be prepared for that. And if you don't do it, people are going to hold that against you more than bad paint, more than bad sportsmanship, more than a simple game. Doesn't matter what you do, you have to have clean facilities for people.
So let that be known too, because what I think one of the misconceptions as well is when like those porta potties aren't there from the field. That's something that producer bring in as well, right?
It's delivered on a truck. They pull it off with a crane.
It depends. A lot of this stuff depends on the splits. So a lot of producers either work for the field or they're their own production company, and so it just depends on whatever agreement. So the truth is, though, the field normally brings in more porta potties one way or the other, whether the producer pays for it or the field pays for it. They're not going to be able to maintain the same amount
it doesn't matter.
they normally have.
At the end of the day, it matters if you're the producer, but from the player perspective, you're going to pay the same thing.
Correct.
And now, what I've never really seen, but if somebody wanted to do a premium event, at this point, especially with COVID, they could bring in one of those very nice air-conditioned toilet trailers you usually see at like a pop-up water park or something.
Yeah.
Or really nice festivals. And people kind of need to step it up on that, in my opinion, because I'm not trying to poop in a stinky-ass flying fest. A porta potty. I'm just not.
Yeah, nah. I don't do that one.
I got back to the hotel.
Hey, no, listen, and they
That's
do
what I'm
that
talking
shit.
about.
They do that shit. Them
Riz and I
motherfuckers-
will drive together and go back to our own rooms.
Dude, he left
and go
me
in
this
peace.
weekend. That motherfucker left me this weekend. Had me and that motherfucker freezing and shit outside.
I did.
Fucking shivering and shit. Talking about, hey man, I got a shit.
He was like, you take a shower? I was like, yeah, I did. It felt.
That motherfucker stopped at Walgreens. That motherfucker took a shot.
He was just out and about, man.
If you're gonna go out, at
on
least,
vacation.
I'm gonna say, Sherwood, Grizz, if you go out, please bring back Starbucks. That's my only request.
Right.
So you got a place, you got toilets. If you're gonna have a paintball game, you got to have paint. And Lawrence can probably do the paint numbers and split better than I can. But all paintball events money comes from paint sales, unless it's an MFOG. MFOG, you got to pay more entry. Airsoft, you pay more entry. You bring your own batteries and BBs. Okay. Airsoft or paintball traditionally has a low entry fee for a 2-day event, $50 to $60, $70 maybe on a high end one.
Yeah.
Plus, and then they're going to have all the upsell extras like Super Game. You could just keep checking that box of all the stuff that comes with it. I think Legends too, there's like full event jerseys and whatnot.
Yeah.
So they're really, really deep on the merch. But as a new producer, you wouldn't be going that deep at all. You're just trying to get a basic game done.
Yep.
So once you have paint, you're going to need about 1.5 cases per person. And then you're going to have to deal with the excesses if it doesn't all sell. And you're going to have to deal with the shortages if it does.
Well, realize that the average paint is average between 1.3 to 1.5. 1.3 is the average cost. 1.5 is a good game. I know you guys normally shoot 2 or 3 cases of paint, but you got to realize there are still people out there that 2 of them split a case. They do sell paint by the bag. You know, somebody does 500 rounds.
I do 5 cases, CB.
Right.
I'm that
well,
guy.
Believe it or not, there's probably anytime you see a pump guy, he's probably shooting a bag.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and so that's what throws that
Chris, you're
that statistic up and down. But even on the best day, now I do know that Super Game and Legends has been reported to hit 2.25 cases per player at a couple of at the big events. but that was when they had lots and lots of tournament players. When Mike Phillips was running, bringing in all the little hotheads and all that was going on. I mean, in its heyday, it made some money at CPX.
Now, Grizz, you had you got MagFed something, right? You got like an MG 100.
I got an MG. He has an MG. I also
you got an MG too. Oh, for perspective, you've got a guy coming to RTT on your side in October that went through 4 cases at our event.
With an MG?
Yeah, with an MG 100.
Shooting it as mag, not as a hopper?
Yeah, 600 first strikes.
Jesus.
I mean, Rob shot what?
Well, no, because I'm about to say
Rob
this
shot
weekend,
like
Rob.
what?
I think Rob shot 3
Robin Burt.
bags.
Robin Burt shot close to 700.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
that's a lot of first strike. Again,
much.
I price my goddamn round ball at $1.87 per ball. I know that's wrong, but I'm just saying, and I shoot a lot of fucking paint. So them first strikes like $4 out of a damn shell. So,
no doubt.
Then you got to have both, if your field will even allow it, because not every venue is even going to allow first strikes.
Vincent said he shot 2 boxes with a pump.
There you go.
Well,
RTT. I'm just going to tell you,
running
RTT,
all around RTT.
Believe it or not, it's a paint, because the format's driven by the players. It's who wants what the most.
Nice, Rob.
Right.
So traditionally, one of the things that kind of been associated with us when you actually get past all the toilets and the food, we can't. I'm not even going to talk about food. I would love to talk about food, but with COVID, we can't, because there's been many great events that have brought in pro chefs. Yep. There's fields with bars. There's so much out there, but with COVID, it's super limited. So I'm just going to go past it in a really depressed way. I'm going to say some of the food around Sherwood is good. And some of the other foods, and I will drag you all over the place on the hunt for obscure food if you let me, which you should not.
Fair enough. Duly noted.
It already happened to Lawrence, so if y'all come to Houston for a game, it's on.
All right. I hold you to that one.
Yeah. Well, I have a fun tour that I bring people to Houston for the first time. We go to an Australian brewery, and then we go to another place, usually off in the Heights, and then we end up at a Satanist heavy metal video game filled brewery. That's really weird.
Alan's a beer fiend, just so you know.
Champion. Brewing champion to you, buddy.
And a fiend. I mean, comes to Austin, wants to go downtown. I'm like, I don't do that hipster shit, dude. Just because I live in Austin, I don't go down there. And he's like, oh, we got to go to this brewery. And I'm like, all right, cool. So we
dude,
get the car
hipsters get their style from me, so let's continue.
Yeah, they didn't have no restaurant, man.
Do you know hipsters are going to be wearing cargo pants and cargo shorts again? It's just a matter of time.
And no restaurant.
It's just a matter of time.
They're going to copy that dad style. So we're going on to the game now. And the whole point of any of your 2-day events is for when it's paintball based, because if it's going to be airsoft based, you got to tell them a story. It needs to be a lot more in theme. There's a lot less events that are just catered to just consuming as many BBs as possible.
Right.
But paintball, you can get away with pretty much any theme you want, and you can pretty much steal any theme you want too, because that's been done for 25 years, 30 years. Everybody's copied everything.
Yep.
So when it comes to the really simple concepts of how to get 2 people to fight, day 1 super game is probably the best example ever, because it's just a schedule. It's 12 o'clock go here, 1 o'clock go here,
exactly.
2 o'clock go here.
Exactly.
So RTT, we had kind of the exact opposite thing. There's no schedule and there's no soft landing. We thought it was a soft landing because we have practice mode, which we'll talk about. Mm-hmm. But we had walk-ons go in there. Grizz, can you bring up the that meme of the poor walk-ons? What happened to them?
Did you put it in here, Mike? Oh, the one you gave me. Hold on. Let me put it in here real quick.
Okay.
Shit. It's the only one I didn't load in.
Oh, the meme's the best one. Because here's what happens to the walk-ons.
I made a new brand for this show so that I wouldn't confuse the old stuff, and I didn't transfer that one over.
Nice.
That's what that was when I got in here. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, behind the scenes shit. You know what I'm saying? God damn it, Alan, we talk too much.
Yeah, we do.
We talk entirely too much. I'm trying.
Well, TB hasn't even seen the video of the new GUI stuff yet.
Oh shit, he hasn't.
Which one?
No,
Oh, see, I got
exactly.
I got
You don't
the
know.
exclusive. I got
he's
the
not a
exclusive.
tester. He doesn't know. You or one other person are usually it's you. You see everything first.
Yeah, I know. But if I don't, I'm not stressing it.
No, I'm not talking
he
to you.
said
I'm
I
talking
do.
to him.
Oh, him? Yeah. I don't stress that either.
Guru sees everything first for the most part. He saw all of the RTT stuff before the commanders did.
Right.
Well, that's because also I'm at home playing the goddamn. I'm at home walking outside with my wife's phone and my phone going against myself. All right,
Don't get hit is all I'm going to say about that.
That was the one on the road.
Man, look, so yeah, fuck Alan, I'm gonna say it now. Fuck you, guy. He put that damn thing in the dead center of my. Cause I'm walking into the street, right? I'm like, all right, like it's in the dead center of the goddamn street, and you got to be within 5 meters of the damn thing. So I legit have to be there in the street.
What's the name of it?
Don't get hit. It's just the game.
Okay, so I told you there's multiple mini games, and that mini game is Frogger.
Hey.
Oh, see, I never got a chance to play it. Remember, we had
Kinda
that.
dangerous.
No, I mean in real life Frogger.
No,
So you're
real
gonna be
life fucking
standing.
Frogger.
You're gonna be
Shit.
standing in the road playing Frogger, hoping you don't.
And
get
wait,
hit by a car.
and Mike is about to tell you the reason. Oh, Mike understands the reason why that's even more dangerous because I'm on the corner.
Especially.
Oh, I know. I saw the corner. I didn't put it at the corner intersection. I put it like it looked far down on the map, but
it doesn't matter. They turned that motherfucking corner hot as hell. I've had somebody in my front yard put like that.
It looks like you get people in your front yard a lot.
Yes, yeah.
By the way, I'm sorry about that. I have to look at people's houses on Google Maps sometimes because I probably freaked Brick out when he woke up and there was a video game in his house.
Ooh, shit. Possibly. Wait,
he looked at the camera on the episode and just looked up at the skylight, fucking Ronan watching.
Hold on, here we go. So look, there you go right there.
Yeah. So little Timmy thought it was open play. We had 40 open play players that showed up. None of them checked the website. Some of them had played paintball before. Some of them had not. And this is kind of a brutal format to drop yourself into, and it kind of went sideways on them. and I was just like, the whole time I was like, no. These games are great for new players. Just follow somebody with a phone.
Yeah, believe it or
that'll
not,
work if you got like 300 people on the field, but when you got 120, it doesn't work that great.
Yeah, but believe it or not, 5 of them did and played almost the entire game, even night play.
Yep.
Wow.
And they were walk-ons who hadn't played paintball before. So we were pretty happy with that result. Little Timmy got it, but little Timmy also came out harder for it.
Yeah, I saw that, man. I'm like, God damn it. God damn it. Fuck Carl. I just saw who he sent me. Fuck Carl. This is what Carl sent me, you guys, from the conversation that he had beforehand. So yeah, fuck Carl. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, fuck Carl. Fuck Carl. Talk about me. Listen, at this
That's
point,
a good one.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so
it's Super Game
setup. Yeah, Super Game. The way Super Game set up compared to RTT.
Right. Well, we're just talking about in general. We'll get to RTT in a second. How you can just kind of pick what you want to do, but in all these other games, the producer picks what they're going to do for you, except for Super Game Day 2. That's just hard point domination, and we can take whatever we want whenever we want.
Yep.
Right. So that's what RTT is. RTT resembles Super Game Day 2, except when you take something, you can build a structure on it and then use that structure to buy stuff. You're going to upgrade your engineers, which you get your resources. You get your demolition guys to shoot your launchers, tank drivers, pilots, and you get your scenario simulations from there. So it's not a very difficult game to play. And like you did at your house, you take the point, you build a point generator on it, and then you just hit it every 20 minutes, and then your score racks up. So there's no big challenge on that game to play, I don't think. But the way other scenarios do it, more traditional stuff is like, how did the Red Feather go? Does he give you the mission? Does he call it in, or does he give it by a card?
So Red Feathers was.
I want to hear this. I've been looking forward to this.
Red Feather again. Red Feather game was dope as shit, right? So Red Feather gave us the whatever the fuck that got the book of the goddamn dead, right?
The Necronomicon.
Necronomicon. He gave it to us, and it was encoded, right? So from that,
all right. So hold on a minute, because I got to mess with you. Ready?
Yep.
It's Necro, and then Nom. So Nom. Remember that Necro. Yep. Nom. All right. Necro. Nom. Akon.
I'm still not gonna be able to say it right. I have the worst speech impediment in the world. I'm still not gonna be able to say it right.
That's why I said nom nom, dude.
Necro nom nom nomicon.
Weird trivia. This is like the third scenario game I ever played with this same storyline.
Right.
Yep.
It was a Viper game.
Well, Viper did one, and the joke, believe it or not, for the longest time was because the patch was wrong. So the patch was misspelled. So instead of it being the Evil Dead, it was what was it?
Evil Deed or something like that.
Something was the patch was actually wrong, and everybody then it became this collector's edition. Everybody wanted was, did you go to that game or something like that? So
I'm trying to download a picture for you right now to show you what like some of the pages look like, and I have one right now. I'm downloading, but yeah. So he gave you the book.
Oh yeah, Chrissy does great work. I mean, she did the custom maps for us, right? I mean, she did the custom maps for the Pirate game.
When we do augmented reality image games, Chrissy does all the best microfiber maps.
So look, there you go. There's one of the pages right there, right? So that's a mission. You got to decode that to get the mission. All of that decodes out to a particular mission, like the language of the mission. So he gives you this book. You get all 8 missions at one time. You got all day to do all 8 missions, but you have to decode the missions in order to do them.
Okay.
So that's where, that's where the complexity of that game comes into play. Because if you don't decode the missions,
when you're running around cussing people and shooting them, what's taking you from A to B? What are you looking for? What are you doing?
Oh well, I had the book on me most of the time, so I'm going to do a mission, or I mean,
so you have decoded at that point, and you're going off to do it,
right?
Okay.
Or for me personally, I'm a gun, so I'm in front clearing the path for the people behind me to walk and do the mission.
Okay.
So that's, and again,
because that's the big thing you have to figure out. Sorry, when you do your scenario game.
Yes.
And that is, here comes the biggest challenge in all of scenario game production, period. And this is where kind of Ronan comes in, and that's content distribution. So how do I get that mission? And if I've got a 100-player game and I want to do 2 detailed sets of missions, one for each, 2 sides going against each other, we can kind of do it like Mission Masters, where he puts everybody on the field. You run out, you do the thing. He babysits y'all while you do it. You do the puzzles after. You all leave the field, reset, go back on the field, do the next thing. And every time you do that run off the break, you get that huge serotonin dump, but you get a depleting reserve between each round. So you're going to be exhausted by the end of it. It's like,
I think you've done quite a bit, but definitely, really all it is it's just
it's like 8 breakouts in a row across, or 8 to 10 breakouts in a row across days. And you would get you're getting the same adrenaline high you get from a tournament where you would play 5, 6 matches in a day, or a final battle. Yeah, well, it'd be like 6 or 7 final battle breakouts. So you get that same dump every time. But the dump shrinks because your brain can't produce enough between rounds.
It's the equivalent of, believe it or not, drugs at a rave party.
That's exactly what I was going to compare it to. It's like taking ecstasy and getting the serotonin dump from the MDMA.
Yep.
The same trigger.
But
same
it's
chemicals.
why most of the time you're blasted after a weekend of play, the 12, or why the games are so hard for 16 and 17, 18 hours is because that adrenaline dump it compounds quickly.
Over and over.
And why you're so exhausted the day after. If it's a good scenario game, that Monday you're not walking. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be hobbling everywhere.
Oh, I know. I was hobbling the day of. Mike could tell you when I was fucking putting the trailer back in the garage, and after that drive, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, fuck, my ass. I'm still like, my ass. God, yeah.
Speaking of game duration, before we go back to the content real quick, what's the longest you've played so far?
The longest that I've played so far, maybe 8 hours straight.
8 hours straight. Okay.
Yeah, maybe 8 hours straight. And
our RTT's 14 straight hours the first day.
Actually, I was going to ask if y'all wanted to man up and y'all wanted to just make it a 24-hour game.
Like a real 24-hour game?
Dude.
I'm just throwing it out there because it ain't much. It's nothing to me to increase the logistics.
It's absolutely nothing. But the point is, I
have a lot of guys coming that ain't never did that before. I have a lot of guys coming that ain't never did that before.
That's how you harden yourself.
No, but see, let's do the normal schedule and let them get excited, and then we can challenge.
Okay.
We don't want to throw the challenge down at first.
Okay. I get told no a lot on some of the stuff I want to do.
Listen, Alan, we want them to get a taste, brother. Then once they get that taste, Then,
Oh, they're gonna get a taste of Super Game. They might not like how it tastes though.
yeah, but see, that's a different taste.
Yeah.
That's us force feeding it one way. This is them
Well,
wanting
no,
to do
that's
it their own way.
let's just say Super Game's gonna
the
taste
reason
like
why I
pure
say
salt.
that is I can tell you. I mean, Lacey will tell you, even though they only went 12 hours because of the rain and the shitty conditions, that's why we shut the game down 2 hours early. 12 hours straight really hurt. It's a
Hurts.
lot because there's no.
Everybody's 10 years older now.
Well, there's no downtime because again, if you don't hold a structure, they do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
They
how
just
it
come and
works.
take it instantly.
So you've got to hold all these different structures as well as deal with the firefights. So you're constantly monitoring or moving. I mean, even though we only had 120 players, they were constantly fighting. I mean, there were 920 player actions.
In fact, we have a chart that says it's like the chart for the captures at action points.
Right.
Most frequently captured. That's the exact one.
Yeah. So here we go. We've got actual game data where we can sit down and show you what players do. Because again, there's no producer sending missions out. This is
now, if you
17 hours of players playing the game they wanted to play based on the environment we gave them.
And if you've played Sherwood before, you know where the places that have gotten the most action. It was that corner, that near corner for the campground. It's the castle. It's the 50 octagon. It's the thing we got named the Pondagon. Joe hates that name, but he's stuck with it.
Let me see.
He had this fancy name for it, but it got named the Pondagon at Firefly, and that's kind of what we've been calling it since. You can see where all of the action takes place that you got to push your troops to. And we also have a chart for where the most points were banked. So when you look at that, you know that people were actually able to hold those the most often. And then we have the heat map to go with it that we were checking out. That one right there, yeah, that's the most frequently captured.
Right, so you want the heat map now?
There's one that says where the most points were banked at, I think.
This one?
Yeah. So these are where the objectives that were actually easiest for each side to hold. And you can use that data in future games. So, if you're at the East base, you're going to have the best odds of holding the Pondagon against all else because you have easier access to it than they do. And it's pretty useful for planning your strategies. And you can flip over to the. It's
also very useful for determining the algorithm for the AI.
Yeah, we do have the AI. Do you have that one that has the 2 pie charts? It's got the 2 circles on one. This is what the AI did all game. So this was actually when we did RTT. One of our long-term goals is to free the player. When I see somebody that gets tasked with like standing in a tent and decoding missions or waiting on a referee to hand a mission card out, and then it's that content distribution problem. So when we're producing the game, we have to get multiple roles. And the culture of the Midwest games has been you get a commander that recruits, and he's the big face of it. And his job is to just draw people in. And then the second person is going to be the XO. You might have 2 of them. You might have 3 of them. But they are tasked with getting the missions and getting them to people on the field to do. Or getting people directed to action points or objectives or flag sticks or whatever constitutes the territory control, the flag station for that game, directing people around those. And our goal in the long term has always been to kind of free people from that and just go play paintball. You're always going to know where to do. You don't have to hang out at a base. You don't have to get anything from a referee with this. But in the process of this, we have to build AI. So all game, periodically, the AI would check the score and decide, I'm losing, I've got to do something, and I'm going to go intervene. And it would send non-player characters out. And then the humans that were playing for it would go out there and shoot some people up and drive around in a golf cart and blast people. And the AI would send its non-player characters out. And it would spend its time on the right-hand side are the actions it did, and on the left-hand side are the frequency of what it did at the different objectives. And what it was mainly trying to do was take the stuff near to its spawn. So it would go take the castle, it would take the corner that was nearest to it and a thing called the graveyard. And then it would also then start to work off to the right-hand side. So what happened was a guy named Frank Segera from Capital Offense and some other guys from Capital Offense ended up putting themselves into a foot race with the computer. So the NPC avatars are about twice as fast as Usain Bolt and have the more stamina than a Kenyan marathon runner. That's them. Yeah, Zulu and Beta, or so Zulu and X-Ray is who we had in there for that game. And the AI would periodically send them out to capture a point on the map and then either destroy it or build something on it according to whatever it thought was right at the time. And sometimes it made weird decisions, and I'm still not quite sure why. I have to really run back some of the values on that. But it blew up. At one point, it triggered what we call FU mode, where it got so far behind in the game that we've been messing with auto balancers. Because every game at the end of the game that we've probably ever been to goes into a last battle, right?
Yep, the final battle.
Now, your final battle ended at NDBG. After the first 20 minutes, did any of the score matter?
After the first 15 minutes, the score didn't matter.
Yeah.
Right.
After the very first count of the slapsticks, the score didn't matter.
Okay. So if our game had only gone 12 hours, then the whole final battle scenario would have played out perfectly. Because at any point, had you been able to overrun most of the field and flip all the objectives to your side, the score would have flipped in your side's favor, and you could pull it out, even if you were losing going into that last hour.
Okay.
Even down to the last second, you could flip that. Even down to the last 3 minutes, because that's what it took down to capture something. So the game's not over until 3 minutes to go if the scores are close enough.
Correct.
Okay.
But this game mathematically, since it went, we made it 17 hours of 19?
17 of the 19,
Yeah,
yes.
you lost
We
2
made
hours of
17,
night
19.
play, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 hours night play rank.
Because it was 36 degrees and pouring down rain.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And
There
there
were still
with
players that
phones.
were going to go. And it was just, look, we beat the hell out of you for 12. There's no real reason, because they were concerned if the AI was going to keep going and it was going to catch up. So it did prove that AI
It's enough to terrify players onto the field.
Is enough to keep people wanting to play, even in the middle of a rain and the cold. You know what I'm saying? Because you've been working all day and you go to bed for 2 hours.
They are not going to let a computer take it from them.
The AI is going to take all the action points and hold them.
People are much more. The players seem to much better off with that than what happened at other games, which is the magic mission, which is a mission during the final battle that can affect the score no matter how far apart it is, pull out a victory from absolute mathematical certain defeat.
Yeah,
and that happens a lot in scenarios because there's people don't want their customers bad and they feel like they need to make the score close even when it shouldn't be. So part of what happened was the computer got so far behind that Frank from Capital Fence accidentally triggered FU mode, and the AI ran around the field blowing up and capturing stuff so fast that I got a phone call from Delta on the field yelling that it's blowing up stuff with us still inside it as we're trying to retake it.
Oh shit! Because it was getting around to it that quick.
Yeah, I mean it's moving at like 30 miles an hour from objective to objective, and it doesn't have terrain in the way, so it just goes.
Yeah,
it doesn't mess around. It could almost teleport if it wants.
And that's something that is designed to do, or you got to edit it.
Yeah, the farther it got behind, it ramped up its own speed, which the guy ran. Mm-hmm. So at one point it got so far behind that it was the perfect storm of FU, and it was like, I'm had enough, and it blew up half the field. And after that, I had to go in there and I just changed the code on my client, which was running it, and tone that thing down and be like, hey, no more of that this game.
Right, simmer down, buddy.
Simmer down now. It's being a little too mean. And then we had Josh Nutt connect from Canada. Josh Nutt is Millionth Monkey Scenarios. If you can make it across the border up to what he does, and you want to play a really story-rich, theme-based scenario, you're not.
Well, I'll just put it this way: they did Fallout before this Fallout that's coming. Yeah, and realize that their Fallout is very, 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 very in depth. 3D props. Yeah. I mean, Josh is wanting to use the software to build an entire Fallout theme inside of the client and everything, so that the client even looks different, so that it looks like a Pip-Boy.
Yeah, he wants the Pip-Boy.
Portal?
That was you, Vinny? Oh. So the portal was the spawn point for the AI. What happened about when I woke up the next morning, I looked, and I didn't realize this happened for about the first 30 minutes, but the spawn point was where all the AI was doing its math off of for distances. It thought I needed to control this, this, and this. Well, Vinny managed to blow up the spawn point, which was not supposed to be possible. The software was never supposed to let him. I guess that was a bug on my side. And then the AI just started doing its own math, and it went back into FU mode for a little while, and it blew up a lot more shit really, really quick.
But see, the cool thing is, dude, and Lacey will tell you this, and so will Bryant. They were both in there.
Well,
The AI, it lends a lot. Some people think that's bullshit, but for a player like me, it's like that's cool because it's so random and it impacts everybody. And
another thing that happened was
something with it. You know what I'm saying?
If Lacey's side was greatly outnumbering and easily controlling the field, when the AI would go out and take the objectives behind them in its own corner, they would have to pull guys off the front, and it would balance out the paintball field, get play.
Right.
Every time.
That makes sense.
And now we can tell people. So the reason why Joe and I rode around in the golf court and just kind of stayed in the area we were was so the AIs could capture stuff. We would actually go in and shoot the players and then leave so the AI could come and capture it. Okay. So the AI was able, Joe and I were kind of the physical manifestation of the AI, so to speak.
No, I mean, but no, that makes sense though. I mean, understand. So for me personally, who I've played around with it a little bit, I understand a little bit more. And I'm like I said, Lacey and Jason, they probably understand it as well. Why you're doing that,
right?
Well, we can talk about how the game started off too, because there was a mistake that.
Well, we don't want to go too far into it because we're going to do our show next week.
We got
the commanders on, and they can.
I'll give you a tip
what their
for the
strategies
game.
were, and we can tell them how their strategies work.
Well, I'm just giving you a tip for the game because when it comes to this game, I'm going to play for Matt for part of it. I'm going to go play for Lacey for part of it, and run with deplorables for a little bit, and I'll get around the field and I get to play with both sides. But start fast. You got to start strong in this game, and that brings us to practice. And the people that did not practice on Saturday suffered.
You mean Friday?
Friday. Sorry. Well, you could have practiced Saturday morning too. You could have. So we dropped. It's hard to describe.
There's not enough time, dude. So people need to understand. We start this game at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
So think about that. You're not starting at noon or 11. Your player orientation is at 9.
Yeah,
game on is at 10. There's no bird banger. There's no nothing. The game's on. You start at your base. There's refs there. It's constant insertion. So you go back and tag up to your base, and you're back in.
The app says beeps and says game on GPS clock now.
Right. So I mean that's how it starts. There's no huge fanfare. The game's on, and the game runs until midnight. That's your 14-hour game block right there. There's no stand downs. You got to manage your people.
No lunch break, none of that.
Well, I mean, your lunch break's on you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Take for players, you take lunch whenever you want to.
Right.
For the commanders,
if I could feed you, it might be a little different, but it's not, unfortunately.
Right. As a commander, it's trying to manage those people so you still got people on the field while your people are taking a break. Because, everybody can't sit and play those amount of straight hours. And, you just can't. There's not a whole lot of people that's going to go that long. You're going to take some kind of break. You got to get paint, got to get air, got to go to the bathroom, something. So, as a commander, though, you got to manage that. Because realize as soon as in this kind of format, as soon as somebody takes their hand off the wheel, your ass is drifting.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you ain't got your hand constant on the wheel, the other side does. They're gonna, because if whoever's got their hand on the wheel the strongest is who's gonna win.
But there's something you can do for this game that no other events anywhere in the world can do, except for tournaments. So really, no other types of scenarios or big games can do, and that's practice. I mean, if you're going to go practice for any type of big game out there, really what you're going to do is you're just going to go to tournament practice and get better at regular ass paintball. Learn how to play your bunkers, learn basic techniques, tournament practice. Practice with, I don't know what their divisions equal to from what I know back in the day, but amateur A, I'm sure that's like Division 3 or something like that. Low Division 2, high Division 3.
D5, shit like that, or no?
Yeah, well, D5 would be like, I think amateur B or not. It's above novice from back in the day. I don't know what the equivalents really are, but in a pro, but it's a notch or two below a pro.
Gotcha.
And go out there and practice with those guys as much as you can if you want to get great at just regular paintball, because that's really important to do, and that's how you get good at the big games. But if you want to learn how to get good at nuts and bolts of scenario games, your only option is to go out and play a lot of them and play the specific promoter you want to get good at, because a Hanu game is not going to be the same as a Viper game by any stretch. The Viper games, you're going to get your missions and cards. There's going to be multiple stuff to do because that's how he distributes his content. He takes his content, he gives it to a commander, and via the referee, it's going to be on a card, and then that commander has to take the card out, the almighty mission card, because these were so important back in the day, and then distribute it to everybody that he can on his side to go get it done somehow.
So people to know, look, I'm at my house right now playing.
Yep. Right now. So what we do is we drop pins for the game, resource pins, and all the different types of objectives at everybody's house as much as possible. So you get to practice all the mini games. You get to practice capturing stuff, upgrading yourself, see how everything works. You can play as a team. Everything that's possible to do in the game, you can do at home or at a local field or local stores. We set them at but strip centers. I can't even remember what the damn store's name is off the top of my head. Desert Fox Paintball, I think the store. Red Fox Paintball store. The whole strip center's a game in the practice room, along with their paintball field. And we have like 30 or 40 practice fields, and the game room's getting a lot better. So you can go anywhere and practice it, and we can actually drop this game into any field within about 20 to 30 minutes, knowing the GPS locations.
Right.
And that's all there is. Really, all there is to RTT. It's not a hard game. All you're trying to do in RTT is capture places and build crap on them, and make sure you have people solving those puzzles so you have money to build crap.
And Matt, I'm going to give you the same advice that I give to all the commanders. You ready?
Yep.
7 out of 6 is domination.
Yeah, don't be greedy.
Understood.
Greedy triggers that FU mode.
Well, not just that, but think about it. If I always have 7 and you always have 6, I win.
I'm getting more points than you. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I don't need to go drop the base and sit on your house and everything else, because when that happens, that's when that scale, it starts getting harder for you. Because if you're doing so good, then it's got to be harder. Now, don't get me wrong. If you can hit the modifier, do it, because I want to see I thought it was going to get hit.
We haven't talked modifier. I had just mentioned last battles and kind of why they exist, and then how games end early, but we hadn't talked about modifiers yet.
Right.
So, what he means by that is this game ended at hour 15 of 17. Yes. Now, our players all fought to the death. Everybody played till the very last second of the game. But mathematically, this ended 2 hours early. And that's actually really good, considering some of these games have ended how many hours early, Lawrence?
Before night game was over, the game was over.
Yeah. Some of these games have ended within like 5 hours.
Before night game started, the game was over.
Some of these
5 hours into the game.
Yeah, and that was when they were still like 13 or 14 to play, and when they were longer too, and they ended within 4 or 5. So what the hell do you do after the game ends?
Right. Well, this one, like I told Jason, I talked with both Jason and Justin Saturday night. We went over all the stats and everything. And I told Jason that if by 11 a.m. he had not closed the gap, because you can see the score, then he needed to switch from trying to win to just keeping the score close. And I'm not sure what happened, because it looks like something happened to where Blason was able to put the boots to him. So we'll go over what exactly they were thinking on Sunday, because it looked like he started off strong out the box Sunday
They came
morning,
out incredibly strong.
It petered off real fucking quick.
They were so strong the first hour. The whole map flipped to their side within the first hour, and that game was close.
For who?
So when the game started, how the game started was about at 10 o'clock. A couple of us got frustrated because I don't feel like one side started as aggressive as the other. You got to come out of the game.
No, we can tell them that. This. I mean, that they already know, because I drove down there. I mean, so basically 25 minutes slower. Into
they practice less.
25 minutes into the game.
It's not that they practice less, because Delta practiced their ass off, but some of the other guys just chilled. Even when we had a practice pen, all you had to do was go to Paintball to Go. Go over there to Jay Wonderly's tent, and you had a practice resource pen right there where you could do the mini game.
Right.
And it had other pins there in the parking lot you could mess with. So you didn't even have to go on field. You could have just wandered around the campground and still practice. Right. But some people just decided, no, I'm just going to figure it out the minute the game starts. And that has a learning curve. And
in Georgia, to be fair, Lacey was on the receiving end of that tactic. In Georgia, it was a reverse. But whichever side is most aggressive is going to get that initial wave of riding high, because 25 minutes into the game, Lacey was at the 60 and he had already
Oh,
captured
we have a
5 or
chart for
6
that because
different points.
and the key to the game is being able to have enough launchers and be able to scramble enough flyers, helicopters, because I'm sure y'all seen that in other games. Like, oh, y'all have experience with airdrops, hula hoops, or something like that.
Yeah,
Kind of went sideways on you, huh?
these are actual functional helos that your pilots
Yeah.
control and can do shit with.
Yeah, not what we had. No.
Yeah.
Well, the rules are very specific on these, and like I said, we hand out penalty points when people don't follow them. We don't just give them a pass and say suck it, because that's kind of what we know has happened before to people.
Right.
Be polite about that. Not everything goes well at games.
But anyway, back to the modifier. So the modifier is in case a
the game ends
side.
early.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what the modifier kicks in for. So basically, the side that is obviously better, it becomes harder for them to play the game. So let's say instead of it taking 5 people to hold an objective, it may take you 10 people to hold an objective. So you got to manage your resources just a little bit more, a little bit better, because that's what it is at a command level, is resource and asset management. So it starts challenging the abilities of the commander to maintain control of the domination on the field. And if the commander is able to do it, then great. Then it just gets a little bit harder and a little bit harder and a little bit harder until that commander finds where his modifier is against who he's playing for or playing against.
And these are logistics wars. So the way Glazin focused when he came out of the gate was build as many engineers as possible in the shortest time possible. And he did it. Within 30 minutes, he pretty much he had 9 out of 10 engineers built.
Right.
And if you can pull up there's an economy chart that shows the two. There's one for one side and then one for the other. It would be like resources gathered per person or something like that. Look at that stylish man. Look at that.
Hey man, this one.
I wish flipped. It's going to be a pie chart. There's one pie chart that looks really even, and one pie chart that looks like hell. Yeah, SDF Glazin, that's his chart right there, and that's Bryant's chart. So if you look at Bryant's chart, you can see how unbalanced his economy is on the right-hand side, and you can see how balanced the other economy is.
Trying to find Glazin, right? Let me find Lacey's real quick. Here we go. So, of course, stupid. Okay, there we go.
Okay. So on the right-hand side, you can see the 2 people. That was Josh Foote from Delta and Jason Bryant carried over half of their economy by themselves. And everybody else chipped in to varying degrees, but not at the frequency they did. And I'm pointing at it with my pencil like that helps everybody else. Helps me, damn it.
Right.
On this left-hand chart, see how everything's much more evenly distributed? Right. Now, that big brown slice is going to be Narf from the Rhino Dragons and team tags. Narf is probably, I don't know the social conditions, but I feel like Narf's an underrated animal on the scenario field at our events, at least, because he's played 2 and he's walked away with awards from 2 and played them very, very well. And I kind of assumed that the economic efficiency at this game was going to be terrible. And their whole side proved me wrong, because Narf completed, I think, over 40 of those wave puzzles in one game. He completed so many that I'm actually going to make it a 30-minute cooldown and increase the resource reward so they have to do it less, because he did something like 50. It was under 50, but it was 43 or 45 in one game. But knowing how many he did and how big the other slices of the pie are just shows you how much everybody else on Glazin's side he got to contribute. And there was something about a dad handing his kid to the phone for the wave puzzle every time.
I heard about that. What was that about? Let me stop sharing. Go ahead. So I heard about that one. So what was that about, TV?
So there was evidently a guy that couldn't do the mini game, so he'd give it to his kid, and his kid would do the mini game and hand it back to him. So the guy and this kid basically played the game. He'd do all the work, and the kid would do all the video game work. So they'd do the live. They were tag teaming it together.
Was it Stiller?
No, I don't even know who.
Damn, he's gonna call him out.
Well, there's a father-son combo. I think they're on the deplorables now.
They
Atomic
were
Styles
and
his son Vinny. They're awesome. They were medics. They had. We have a full leaderboard that goes down. I didn't send you a screenshot, unfortunately. You would be in your phone if you joined the game. It shows you the top 2 of every class. Who got the most captures? Who scored the most points for their side? Who had the most medics? Who blew the most stuff up? and like 10 categories down the list. So we like to highlight every player in the game with those charts and everything about who really contributed to their side and the game mechanics, not just the paintball to get it done. And it overlooks the paintball a little bit because some of this stuff takes a team to escort you there, but you're the VIP with the phone trying to get stuff done.
Well, here's the deal. We've switched to that. So what we tell people is think of the phone as a mission card. But here's the deal. The side that has
such a high usage rate.
The side that has 150 people logged in, you now have 150 mission cards. The more you get away, the more you can get your players to get away from the single mission card model, the better it's going to be for you. I mean, just like
a better mindset.
Well, if you see the way we set it up, a balanced economy maximizes points. That's the way it's supposed to be. The thing is you've got all these people that you've got to get them to balance the economy. You see what I'm saying? It's not going to be that way every game. You've got to get everybody in the right place, doing the right thing to get that model to go. And you've got to track that in real time.
Practice and remind them.
Right. So as a commander now, you're really managing those resources.
And then it gives everybody freedom, a lot of freedom in a game, because there's a set amount of missions
within structure. Because
it's
it's very structured. Because with you seeing the score, if you go take 30 minutes off the field and the score doesn't drop, well, then if you need to take another 15, 20 minutes, you can. But if the score immediately starts catching up, oh shit, we got the right ones off the field. We got to get them back on. You'll be able to tell who your big holders are. You know what I'm saying? Who's actually doing that work?
And we had a really high user rate for this game. We had 124 players. We had over, I think it was like 65 accounts.
65 total accounts, and then it was an average of between 38 and 40 logged in during the game?
Yes, at any given time. I think we peaked around 45. And then we had about 30 logged in. It was usually 10 to 15 from each side were logged in at any given moment.
Okay.
Right.
And that was with people sleeping their phones. That's the crazy part.
That's what I was about to ask. Like, with the sleeping situation, because again, that's the one thing we ran into when we were trying to run it this weekend. Where we were was that people were, because by muscle memory, you hit the button.
Every single person, including me, including Lawrence, he was doing it to himself nonstop all game.
Yep.
So Warlord's getting the background connector, which will send your location in the background. And then RT, all the other game apps will get the same function also. But there'll always be a limited functionality running in the background. Your timers and stuff go, but you're not going to be connected to the game server until you bring the app back up.
Okay.
Directly. And then that'll let you do a lot more. So it's limited functionality slept, and it's always going to be that way because they're going to keep cracking down on it. They don't want people to record the location in the background because people have abused that kind of trust that Apple and Google gave them. And unfortunately, that affects us because with every single new operating system version that comes out, there's another crackdown on location sharing. So they want that app to be running on top. They want you to intend for you to be sharing your location with people.
Right.
And getting over the muscle memory is always going to be a challenge. There's been different solutions. Ask Delta. Delta's going to be playing on your side. A lot of those guys use screen lockers that prevent you from closing your phone.
Okay.
So it's not even possible. You just run the app and it turns off your sleep key.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think my little brother actually told me something about that. He was saying to whatever he know how to do it. Yeah, my little brother know how to do it. But yeah, like that. Well, I didn't buy like the dark through. I didn't buy that. I just bought like a regular condor, like a regular chest pouch. Yeah, and so I didn't buy that one. Yeah, so I didn't buy that one. I just bought it's over there somewhere, but I just bought that and threw both my phones in there with the power pack and just dropped them in there.
Okay, I sent you a picture of a dude with a crazy beard from an airsoft company.
Yep, let me put that. I got that one now. I have that one. Hold on.
Lawrence can tell you about him. He met the guy. Sorry, I don't know the name off the top of my head.
About this guy right here, right?
Yep.
Lawrence.
Yep, that's Samuel. With tactical airsoft combat something. I've
Solutions or
told him about Solutions in LLC, I think. But they make custom mag carriers. They do airsoft. They also do mag fed. So they haven't been a lot into the round ball or scenario side, but they make custom mag carriers. As you saw, custom phone carriers. That particular picture was a Note 8 with a brick.
With a brick. That had to be AJ.
With a power brick, yeah.
So there's a Note 8 and the power brick in there.
Yes.
So that case is a power brick. You sit your phone into it, and you're good to go. That phone easily lasted the 14 hours.
I got
right.
you. Okay.
And so they made a custom case for it so he could
'Cause,
mount it to his
that
to his
setup
Molly.
is too big to fit in this. It won't even go in there.
They also do custom engraving and 3D printing, so you can actually put your logo on the outside of it. So if you wanted to have mag carriers with your mutant logos, they'll do it. If you wanted to have your own front made with the mutant logo, they can do that. They do all of that. So they'll be coming to the Ronin games.
I might have to look into that. Like I said, what I had was just like I don't think I have a picture of myself, but it was just like a regular Amazon, like a pouch.
Right.
And I just dropped my phone down in it. Well, I dropped both phones down in it with my, with a battery brick in the cord. So just in case I started to die, just plug it in and keep it going.
Right.
And that worked for me all day.
No, they're making me one for my iPhone that'll fit on my wrist because I like to have it on my wrist. That's where I used to carry all of my
want
stuff
to Pitbull
back in the
back to
scenario.
the Fallout game.
He's going back to the Fallout game, exactly.
Well, no, I mean, even back in the scenario days where everything was manual, I mean, my game map was on my forearm. My codes were on my forearms. You know what I'm saying? It's just a Marine Corps trick I was taught in School of Infantry. That's where you keep all your information is inside your forearms,
Rob,
and then you just look down and go.
We'll take a second to plug Whiskey 24. Check out Whiskey 24 gear. RKE 2020 coupon code will get you 10% off. It's got tons and tons of great MagFed gear.
Yep.
He's not specifically a paintball guy, but he sells stuff that works awesome in MagFed. And while we're talking about random ass accessories, did you get yours out, Guru?
I didn't. I left mine in the car. I left the pouch that is.
This has been one of our fun discoveries lately is motorcycle helmet speakers for your paintball helmet. People have been looking for solutions. Lawrence, what was that JT thing called?
The
Proteus Con.
I got one of them goddamn things too in the basement somewhere.
The JT Proteus mask, yes. Barry wore one back in the day that had a little snap-on cup that went into the earpiece.
So when they came out, they had these circle earpieces that you could turn, and you were supposed to be able to like tune yourself like dog ears. It didn't work for shit, but
no.
They also had you pop those out, and you could pop in FRS speakers. Well, for motorcycles, they make the same thing. These were $20 on Amazon, and they're wired with a push button mic. But you can get the Bluetooth versions for about $60, and they will fit right here. And I'm sure somebody really smart can figure out some 3D printed accessories for the goggles to hang these on the side. I can't remember the damn name of the podcast. The one with the guy from Flag Raiders with the hair.
Beyond the Bunker.
Beyond the Bunker. They were just talking about radio stuff the other day, and this is the answer that I linked to them. This is the one right here.
Okay. Yeah, I got, like I said, mine's is somewhere. I got a set of those. I got a set of them damn JT things that was shit too.
They were cool looking masks though. That's the thing. What was great about
that was JT not a cool looking mask. The Proteus was not cool.
Oh no, I don't have a mask. I just had an ear.
Dude, the only mask that was better for night vision play was the fucking Diablo skull mask. Because here's the deal. It sits very angular and it's very flat. And so because of the angle, you could mount the night vision to it. And because of the flatness of the lens set up almost as close to the eye as possible. And what people don't realize about this night vision that people run is, for the most part, they're running on about 15 degrees of vision that they can see.
Tiny little sliver.
Because of the way it pops out. So they're really just shooting off movement for the most part, unless you can get a good mask. And the Diablo skull mask, I mean, it fit like a damn skull. It was close. I mean, it hugged your whole face. And that was an awesome mask. We actually cut the top of the mask out to where the night vision would sit. And it was about as close as you can get to your eye with having a mask between your eye and them.
Rob was on. Now people can hear our convo standing close. There's a volume slider on it. Turn it down when you need to. We haven't really done voice over IP yet, paintball players. We haven't quite mastered it. We've got the technology. We haven't mastered it in practice on the field.
We played it, because we played around with it a little bit. Like it worked for us to a point. So again, one of the things I noticed about, which I just haven't gotten around to talking to you about, it's like it seems like it kicks on automatically sometimes.
Because it's supposed to be push to talk only. There's supposed to be no Vox. The Vox is completely off in the script. I promise.
Well, we just upgraded to something, didn't we? Didn't we just upgrade?
Yeah, we actually dropped out VoIP completely. I replaced it with a Goro video chat, so it looks like this instead now.
Shit, even better, because that's one thing we're looking for. Because again, with the stuff that we were doing at our particular game, we were like, okay, once you get to the place, just shoot a picture, or shoot a message through the app, and we'll have
absolutely.
it. But because that's not turned on yet, we just went back to Facebook and just had a Facebook group chat going for it.
That usually works great too.
Yeah, but it's like, but with this, so how this worked for me when we were playing, like, there was one particular mission we had to carry a player on a basically a stretcher or like a backboard across the field to a position and slide them underneath a cabin. So people were like, where the hell do we need to go? So because I had dropped the pins that had stuff, I pulled my phone out and you got like, 10 or 15 guys around my phone looking at where we are and where we need to get to. But it worked. Everybody knew where the fuck we need to go. Like everybody knew, okay.
That happened in Canada about the same time you were doing that.
Oh shit. Wow.
Because Josh Nutt, the same day you were out playing, Josh Nutt was playing a game in Canada and he was playing a night game and he used that. It was an airsoft game and he dropped the pins everywhere. And it worked. Every time they needed to know where they were lost at night, they opened their phone, they looked, and they went, oh, okay, we're right here and we're going to here.
It gets even better than that. During the RTT game, 2 members of Delta that couldn't come logged in and was actually talking to the Delta guys on the phone, telling them how they were fucking up.
I love it.
Telling them where they needed to move to, telling them where they were like, hey, they just took this shit. Hey, they just took this shit. You need to get on it. So they had 2 guys that wasn't even there playing with the team, even though they kind of wasn't there. Now, Phil may not like that, but what they need to realize is that we will wind up making that a pay function, meaning if you can't make it to the game, but you still want to interact with your team, you can pay like $10.
Right.
And you can sit at home and play the video game version of this with your fucking teammates. And realize $10 to sit and interact with your team that goes to the field, that's not that big. You know what I'm saying? You're still supporting the field, you're supporting your teammates, and you're at home, helping move them around. Because you could run radios sitting at home.
You could
run the command stuff sitting at home. And that is done, believe it or not.
A robot.
Well, part of the reason that infrastructure is being put in is to tie games together, because that is something we are going to do next year. We are going to do 3 games on the same day at 3 different fields that are interconnected. There'll be 3 blue commanders and 3 yellow commanders. They will be the sides, and what works at one field will influence what goes on at the other fields. So you're going to have to manage the side. So,
I guess I should have mentioned it. There's going to be two RTT games going on the same day in October. One in Canada and one at Sherwood.
Right.
So we might as well link those while we're at it.
I'm about to say, are we linking those? That's what I was about to ask.
No, I don't want to link them. The Sherwood thing. Yet. So no, because here's the deal. I'm setting Sherwood up specifically. That's why we're buying the championship belt. So we're going to go ahead and put it out there right now. RKE is going to create a championship belt for Sherwood, and every October, whoever wins, they get the belt, and they're the champ. And then they're asked to defend it if it's possible. Right. Well, they're asked to defend it, yes. But if they don't defend it, then it goes up to whoever can. And if there's somebody that can come in and command that thing 10 fucking years, then good job. Get on it. But, I'm trying to set that up for Joe where he's got a good 300-player solid game every year, because the thing is the format's constantly going to evolve, meaning we may make changes like certain objectives are worth more points than other objectives. We can do fog of war where you can't see what anything's worth until you take it. We can do random number generators. There's all kinds of different things that once you guys, every time you master a finesse part of the we talked about it backstage. There's not just going to be a wave puzzle where you're actually going to have 3-4 mini games by the time we make it to October next year, and it's going to be a random on different. I haven't quite decided if it's going to be random or if I'm going to have different kinds of resources with different puzzles that you have to solve at different places. But we'll see how that goes. That's kind of what I'm aiming for.
I got to throw it out there. Hold on, Frank. We gonna give him that belt just to take the pictures in, though. But the belt's coming home with me.
There you go. See, and that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm telling you,
it's gonna be
awesome. I'm just saying, don't sleep on Frank. Frank's an animal.
I know, but I'm gonna see Justin in 2 weeks, and we're gonna talk shit to each other in person. It's all gonna be fun. It's not. Awesome. Yeah, it's gonna all be fun.
Oh no! What's gonna be funny is
fucking
watching
feel full of Pacos is the problem.
That's gonna be some funny shit, dude. It really
You know
is.
how many of y'all I'm gonna judge punch? I'm judge punching you. I'm judge punching you. I'm judge punching you just for looking at me funny.
You can't do that. You're playing.
Hey, listen. As long
I'm
as
judge punching myself.
as long as it's for my language, I'm good with that. Okay.
You know what,
as long
dude?
as it's
But
for my
again,
language.
I'm not gonna warn you through your language till I switch sides and can use it against you.
God damn it. God damn it.
we don't. Let's put it this way: as long as people don't take it personal, we don't care about language.
No.
And most of us say fuck, shit, piss, damn, all that just the same. And I don't see anybody. The truth is, if everybody's on the up and up, those attitudes don't really go out there. It's good fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're like fuck, and they're like, or get the fuck off. You know, people don't take it personal.
But see, the thing with me is, I'm gonna say it, and then I'm gonna walk off with you. If we, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna get shot. Because I'm going to be running at you as I'm saying it. You gonna get out? I'm gonna get out.
Maybe we just need to start doing what the Italians do, and just like, no disrespect, go fuck your mother.
Well, we've always.
But I
played,
said
we
no
have,
disrespect. So
but we only have one social rule, and it's the Jamie Foxx party rule. You got to be cool. If you're not cool, you got to go. But everybody be cool. You get to stay and play, and that's all. That's as simple as it is. I call it the Jamie Foxx rule. It literally comes from Jamie Foxx's how he did house parties and got to know people and shit.
Yep.
And if you could play your games by that rule, it's usually everything works out.
Yeah, I mean that's what happened this weekend. I mean we had 2 judge punches. One was for mixed mode firing. That he was shooting 3-round bursts. The other one was for attitude, but he was a walk-on. Didn't read the rules. Didn't have the app. Thought it was rec play. Got mad. He got raped by the helicopter. Screamed and hollered at the ref. Told the ref he'd go fuck himself. Flipped the ref off.
And that was that.
Damn.
And all he got was a judge punch.
And all I did was ask what I do.
No, well, he got negative 50 points for his side.
Yeah, he cost his side 50 points. And his commander, was looking for him. But he didn't come back. I mean, he packed his shit and left. Because he paid $15. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He paid the greens fees.
Right.
And
which goes back to that first meme. Not always a great idea to add in the walk-ons. Sure, Kat, I think it'll be fine.
If the walk-ons have the right mentality.
Attitude.
Right.
That one did not.
If they're just there to
get
their gun off.
For the stuff.
Yeah, if they're just there to get their gun off, it's not going to help.
Yeah.
I mean, they gotta be there to want to play. But yeah, so I mean, as far as RTT, that's really what RTT is for that the players that want to play their own game, because there's no monkey business. I mean, we're
back to the content distribution thing, where every producer has to use their command and XO structure to distribute content. In this game, you're just going to make it up as your own, and it's going to be deeper than any other big game that can offer it to you. Because Super Game's a cool game. It's a fun event. Everybody loves Super Game. But the hard point domination that Super Game can offer by design is never going to have that much depth. It's going to have a lot of people coming to consume paint over these certain points.
Well, because your depth
we're
is
nerd
limited.
gamers.
Well, your depth is limited by the refs.
It's limited by the refs and what you can give to your players.
Somebody sitting and taking that information in. That's part of the reason why we've taken that out with the AI, because the AI does it far faster and more efficient.
Yeah, as director, I get to go play. I'll end up playing for all 3 sides in this game. I'll play for Matt at the very beginning, then I'm going to go play for the AI for a while as Terminator, then I'll go play with the deplorables for a little bit, and I have my fun.
And the thing is, as a producer, the only advantage you have is that you know the rules. You
I don't have any advantage. I got my ass kicked at Pirate Game.
Well, that was because
I got beaten bad at Pirate Game.
That was because of the paintball, but not within the game.
No. Within the game, I got farmed for points by my own people.
Yes. But that's just because you're a shitty player. I mean,
Well, that game I was.
so here, about that real quick. So Pirate Game will be using the app too, right?
Well, see.
Well, the Pirate Game, we're working through right now with the Pirate Game and Joe on how it's going to be. To be honest,
I'm protesting because I don't want to make it again.
Well, actually, Alan, what we're looking at doing is making it more 2-sided.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it's actually going to be 3-sided, and on the third side, the boats that we add will be the autonomous. So instead of trying to build it with 8 crews, but let's just say Capital Offense decides they want to run their own crew. Well, they're on the third faction, but the third faction may have multiple sub factions.
Yeah, that's fine.
Does that make sense?
Because the way So the way most games are designed is with two sides.
That way you've got two commanders, two sides playing against each other, and the guys who want to do the scenario kind of shit as a pirate can be their individual third factions. They'll each have their
this game
own
does,
group
in
of
my
shit they gotta
opinion.
do.
I thought it could translate to paintball. I'm probably wrong. I think it needs to be done as like LARP fairground stuff like that. The way pirate game plays is you need to have 8 teams that can pull 10 to 15 guys that are there to play some gamey ass games and gonna have fun.
That's what we're gonna do with the third faction. You're not listening.
I listened to you the whole time. I'm saying the original concept.
Yes, I know the original concept.
Well, I was telling them the original concept. They don't know. They're not in on these meetings.
Yeah, they were. I told them about it.
Oh,
because they're playing for me on Blackbeard's ship on the Queen Anne's Revenge. You're looking at my crewmates right there. My very important one, the one I trusted that if something happens, he blows the whole fucking shit up and goes fucking crazy. He got his hand on the trigger, and that's historical.
That'd be me.
Jason Bryant, I already know where I am for Pirate Game. Me. Jason Bryant, you know where you're at on Pirate Game. You're damned until otherwise told you're not damned.
Oh, he knows.
Uh-oh.
He got
somebody is on Davy Jones.
Yes, he's number one bitch on Davy Jones, and I told him unfortunately not only number one bitch is bad when you're the only bitch. So your job is to get number 2 bitch on quick. That way number 1 bitch ain't that bad, and you trying to get 12 bitches because once you got 12 bitches, then your boat's full and you can get off. See, that's how he's got to bring motherfuckers on and give Davy Jones 12 souls before he can get off. So
what happened? Because our games, because we have a little too much freedom compared to other games.
Yeah, think.
Well, man, I'm all for chaos games. Like, just let players work it out. Give them the freedom, and players are going to have a great time. And when some of the games, like when you go 17 hours into RTT, there's enough hardship that you're subjecting yourself to that it's more memorable than soft games that you only went to for like 5 hours. That's kind of the way it's always going to be. Oh, shit, Davy Jones arrived.
Right. Uh-oh, I know. We spoke him up. Damn it. We spoke him up.
Oh, no.
Brian, I told Brian he needs to bring some alcohol.
And it better be expensive.
To make it good. I'm telling you. Let's see. Normally, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure Bobby would like some mead. But speaking from personal experience, a bottle of Chivas Regal to Bobby Goggin normally gets you pretty good stuff.
Well, poor Jason Bryant's had a rough year.
It's got to
be
that
won a lot of awards.
It's got to be that 20-year-old single marrow scotch, though. I mean, that good shit. It goes great with a good cigar.
We can sum up Pirate Game by saying Jason Bryant won the game.
Yes, but lost the story.
But lost the story. Right.
He lost the story.
Well, he spent the whole game getting stabbed in the face by Joe. But every time he turned around, Joe ran across the field with a sword, found Jason Bryant, and stabbed him in the face again.
Right. But hold on. Think about this. Think about the experience that Jason Bryant's going to have because he now has a character. And his character, last year he was the general, and in the story he got, basically thrown to Davy Jones' locker. Now in this game, Jason's got his own story arc. He's trying to get off the boat. You know what I'm saying? He's not just
the best setup in the whole game for story-wise.
Right. And his whole story
kicked out of him to get there.
Right. So whoever wins, whoever loses doesn't really matter to him because he's got to try to get off the fucking boat. So he's going to have kind of like his own game that y'all are all starring in.
Right.
We're all starring in his story. But then the thing is,
you got your own stories.
We're going to have our own because Blackbeard's got his own goals. And y'all are going to be running with me. So we're going to have our own shit we're going to be doing. All within the game. And it's all within that same universe that doesn't have to be pre-scripted for everybody to be able to get off and do shit and have fun. And
I think because of COVID, we're still not going to have the Majestic.
You know what? We're going to try it. Well, we're going to try it again. We're going to try it with Nut.
I told Nut he's going to have to climb under the border.
Yeah, he's got to lead the Canadian invasion for Pirate Game. So
you can have him climb under the water.
Well,
climb under the border. Look, and we've invited Wolf Critchlow. We've invited Wolf to our early access group. Wolf can come on, jump on one of these boats too. Both of them can go under the border together. Get on their ghillie suits, climb under, and get to the game. Got them covered. They'll have great content after.
Yeah, true.
We did to extreme. So go through some of the first, Alan, because I want to. I just like to brag about the cool and hard work that you've done. So name some of the first. Well, some of the people need to understand that this game was the first remote game. What I mean by that is the game producer was not on site. The game producer.
I was actually for every detail I could tell you, everything I could tell you what happened. I was 1,300 miles away, and most of it I just watched on the combat log, and then occasionally asked people what was going on. And I'm gonna say directing a game from that far away will make you really emo and stressed. It's not very fun, but it's possible. And
no, that's because you had whatever, dude. You ran a birthday party for your kids at the same time you're running a game.
I did a whole drive-in movie birthday party with like 50 hot dogs and a
slumber party. He's running a party and running a game.
I saw that shit.
That's my wife. Don't look at me, dude.
He's supposed to be doing a game. I'm like, he's supposed to be doing a game right now.
We were doing a game. I'm grunt labor for my wife, but my wife's the brains behind all that shit. She's a smart one.
See again, Guru. See, we work around the wife. I'm very respectful of Alan's wife.
Yes. Have to
do what you got to do so that I got him when I need him.
Right. Exactly.
But
so it wasn't the hardest game to direct.
Right. Well, that's the thing. It's done that way so that you can run 5 or 6 games. A one game director can run 4 or 5 games on one day.
I would actually put it at like 30.
So we'll get there eventually.
No. I really mean by the next round of polish, I mean 30. There's nothing for me to do once the site's done.
I know.
Except for babysit.
But the game director also, if the general had a question, they were either hitting him on a chat. We had a group chat for the commanders. We had video chats. You could ping them, hey, what's going on? What do you need?
So if you did call me, I forced you into a video chat and I used face filters on every conversation for the entire game, like I was like 5 years old.
Yes.
Giant, like
it completely distracted Bobby. Bobby was totally he couldn't even look at the screen. He was just like, I'm not even gonna look at this shit. I'll just talk to you.
Because I was just changed it the whole time. I was like an astronaut out in space, and then I had a crazy mustache, and then I had some sweet hats on.
Sad pizza face.
Because
he didn't get to sit at the table with a glass of Glenfiddich scotch and a Cuban cigar with me and Joe and Bobby.
I'm running the game and I got a kiss party and they called me talking shit drinking.
Yeah, you saw the meme. We're sitting there like the 3 jokers fucking sitting there with cigars and fucking Glenfiddich scotch while people are out there playing night game.
And his ass down there at the drive-in with the skis.
So, but I mean, night game at Sherwood went really well. We went out there. There were 200 torches lit because Joe lights torches across the whole field, and the whole field's in play. And what everybody loved about the night play was you knew where everybody was, because the combat log tells you what the fuck people are doing. So you see something just.
We don't have a picture of that. I should have made a picture of that.
Right. Damn. So you see, oh shit, Blue just took this. Now you got to go take it.
And there's going to be people there going to something else.
Right.
So what's in play? So what's in play for the night game? It's everything.
The game stays right in. You're playing daytime just like you play nighttime.
Oh, we can do that one real quick. So there's games that switch sides halfway through, which they call halfway because it doesn't even make sense saying it's halfway because it's really like 5 hours and like 2 hours or a half hour even now.
Right.
They did we don't switch Sunday. Sides. Yeah, we don't switch sides.
There's no switch sides at all.
No. You play from the base that you're out of, and here's why: switching sides is supposedly makes it even. What if What if you got the strong base on Saturday and you got your ass kicked? Right. Now you've gone to the weak base. Now you're gonna get your ass kicked even fucking more. Play out the base that you fucking started at. You know the base that you get well in advance. Go out, walk the field, learn the fucking strong points. Guess what? That's the game. And if the other side doesn't do it, then they get the shit kicked out of them. But if both sides go out and take it seriously and walk the field and know what they've got, then it's going to be a good game.
Yeah,
it's not that hard. I mean,
we can do the heat map for that. Speaking of walking the field, you want to pull up a heat map.
And I already mentioned it to Joe about the lack of straight shot to the 50.
Why? You weren't supposed to bring that up.
That's the whole purpose of the heat map.
That's not the whole purpose of the heat map. The heat map's my weapon. Shut up.
We've got the heat map. No. Now you know how I felt when you kept talking about them goddamn explosives during fucking Firefly. Yeah.
I was the game director. That's not the point. Lawrence, you're supposed to help me here. You're fucking me up.
No bullshit. You can see it. I don't even have to point it out.
I know.
I mean,
But
yeah, I mean,
believe it
well,
or not-
I mean, since it's out now, Alan, I guess me and Alan looked at this, right? Alan sent it to me, and if it put like this, I'm gonna put like this, right? If you're looking at this and you don't understand it, you need to understand this.
Take that shit off the screen. We're not coming back to that. I'm just going to
Whatever.
say
Keep
that.
No. Keep that up.
No,
there.
take it off.
Because we want
Take it
field
off.
owners to see it.
Well, field
We
owners,
do.
but
So
well,
what
yeah.
this is,
I send
for
field
whoever's
owners the
looking
heat
at
map
it,
from every game. They don't need to see it on here.
whatever. So what this is this is where players play. So this is how players played this game at Sherwood. This is
Did you
without
tell them
missions.
the volume of dot set is? How many dots that is?
225,000 GPS
Locations
locations
in one game.
That's
more
I'll
than
donate to this.
That's individual. That's your
individual
tracks.
tracks. So
That's what makes up that because it breaks it down. So what
we-
that shows you with the way the game is formatted, the players basically choose where they go. Each of these major group is an objective. So what you're
this
seeing
what
is how
Sherwood
many
looks like with
ways,
free will,
right? How many ways they go to objectives and how they move across the field.
and how they're going to get there when you give them the choice.
Correct. So what that allows you to do as a field owner is you can either build bunkers in it to break that up, or you can build roads. Or if you've got a road, you can build objectives on that road to defend that road, to shut down and force people out and around. So this kind of helps you direct the way your field plays based on the way the field's laid out. And again, this changes. I mean, we put pins this way, but we can add multiple pins, which we're talking about doing. The more advanced games we get into have pins that are worth different points. So you may have
Pins that move.
Right. There may be pins that move. There may be, there's all these different kind of variables that we want to throw in to make the game. Once you understand the format, now you got to be challenged. And that's only going to come from changing the experience. So it's only going to be really for those 300 players that want to play this game.
So my guess is down here is all staging, right?
Yeah,
that's the
all
corner. Yeah, that's the corner in staging. So wait, go down. So do you see that break up, go up? Oh, up,
go up a little bit.
Right
that
there.
blob right there is corner.
That's the corner.
That has a new name. That's called Capitol Hill.
Right.
Capitol Offense claimed it.
So this
and they
is
have named
okay.
it.
So this is on. So this is staging Capitol Hill.
No,
Okay.
that's on field.
Oh,
That's
that's
the
on
last
field.
point on field.
That's the closest corner to being off.
So if you go, So now if you go
This
down
is
along
base.
that line,
This is base.
Yeah,
this
that's a
is
base.
This north base, right?
north
Right.
base.
Now if you go
And then here's
down on the
south
right,
base.
yeah,
South
and
base.
it's out there in the middle at 730 feet, just up from that.
That's the octagon.
That's 50 octagon, and the one below that is called. There's two there. That blob that you're on is called. I call it the barbecue because it looks like a moonshine still.
Yep.
And then the big dirt mound is the blob directly to the left of it. That's where you
Right
go
there.
up on the hilltop to capture it.
Okay.
Now, if you go just down from it, that circle there fills in with water. That empty area, that's the
that
low
bridge.
ground.
Yep.
And
that's
then
the
just
bridge.
below that, at that big red stripe, is the Pontagon in the middle of it, which leads from east base to the castle.
Right, and then to the left is the castle.
Yep.
Okay.
And then
And
the
if you go
city
down
in
to
front
that,
of the
you
castle.
get the one that blob off the road is what's called Bastion. There
Right here?
should be a blob. Yeah, that was an objective. That's a common objective used at Sherwood. And there should be another one off to the right that we did not use it this game. That's actually called the Prison. That has a locking door that Joe puts on it.
It's where there's no people. That big open space.
Right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Up, down, right down, right up to the right. Right
yeah,
there.
right there.
Like
That's
here?
actually the prison, and nobody used it, which is
Okay.
strange because that's a really nice building to use.
The people that were there, none of them had the app. It's because the app, it wasn't worth anything. So there were people in it, but they were all paintball players that Joe chased around as the Terminator. None of them were on the app because it was not in the game. None of the app users really used it because it wasn't conducive to any of the. It was good to hold or to ping down on top of the castle, but it's not a direct route to the castle from any other point on the field.
Yeah,
It's why. So if we wound up putting either the cemetery or the prison back into play or at it, that'll draw that bottom part of the field out more and bring more people to that middle.
yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
So
We'll talk.
It was supposed to be there. I was going to add the
this
prison. I
later.
just didn't get to it.
We'll talk about this right here later.
yeah. Well, I mean, if people can't figure that out, I mean, if you go from the north base to the 50 and you see it's a direct run, you can see from this other side.
South base.
It shows two things. First,
but it doesn't show the elevation too, because that left side run up is uphill like a mofo.
Correct. But the other thing it doesn't really show, or what it does show, is it shows that the other side did not move near as many times from their base to the center as this side did.
Exactly.
He said, I mean, they were mostly going to tape line and then going up. So you can see, even if, because there are trails, believe it or not, there's a big road that runs, go up to the middle blob or go up to the 50 blob and then go up a little more and then go right up. You see that one little trail that trails off?
Right here?
Yep. Right there.
Right
and then all the way, and then go all the way up. So that's an open trail. And then if you go down, that's a trail. So while they don't have one that's direct there, there's a big
their direct road that you're on with the line. That's what.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking,
it's
exactly.
small. It's small, but the thing
not
is,
defined like their path uphill. To
right,
go to the
and they didn't use it. Right, and they didn't use it.
Right. See,
somebody used it like once, twice.
From us playing Super Game, I know right where this is from this spawn. You know, from us playing Super Game, I know right where this is, and I know exactly what this is because this, like you said, this is what is this? What is the
50
name?
octagon. 50 octagon.
Right. Yeah. Right. So I know exactly what this is right here to get here. I know. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, because this is Black Lagoon back here, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah.
No, that's the
that's the hilltop.
Ridge.
That's the hilltop.
We call it the Dark Castle or something.
Yeah, but it's the one on the ridge.
Yeah, the one that's up. Yeah, this is the one where I'm laying out in the video that I'm there. I'm laying in the tree looking up at it. That's what that is.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I know exactly what this area is over here. So yeah, to your
point.
But
if you look at the aggressiveness of the north base and the lack of aggressiveness in the south base.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you see that on the map.
Yeah.
That the south base was concentrated on barbecue, the castle,
Pontagon, to cross over into those, and then
all of this here.
Right.
Yeah. This right here was closest to it, but all of this is what they wanted.
Correct.
That's what.
And the biggest thing that North Base controlled, which is, again, if you look at it, North Base, the reason why it's called Capitol Hill is because that's where Frank sat. I mean, their guys were constantly in that back corner, and we were, the Terminators were digging them out because we mainly circled, we would circle in the Commons area where the Octagon is. We would circle around the castle and through the Pontagon. We didn't go to the bases because there wasn't any need to unless we were just going to go monkey with them. But then with that back corner, I mean, we were constantly digging out ESP or Capital Offense from being back there in that back, sitting on that point. And that's one of the furthest points from their base.
Right.
I mean, if you look at it from trying to control the 50 for point values, that's like
a hike. That's a hell of a hike.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Across the graveyard or across the church, across the crypt. I mean, all of those are spider holes all through that.
I mean, this is pretty much more so of a go there and fuck everything else. Almost. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of position where it is. It's kind of like I'm sending you there. Like, don't worry about nothing else. You go there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the corner? Yeah, the corner's a great spot too. And it's about equal distance from both base, which is why I like to send people there.
Yeah, and then like Justin said, it forced the AI to keep its eye on Jason. So
because if you go to the right, if you go to the
point kicked up,
you can see the field entrance. If you go down and right a little bit,
like right here,
right,
go to the right of that. Oh, hold on, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong damn screen. I've got to go back. You're following the insertion trail. Go back left to the staging area.
Okay,
there, right there. You passed it in the middle there.
Right
A
here.
little bit. There. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the entrance on the field.
Oh wait, okay. So which entrances were you guys using? Because again, when we play Super Game, we use here.
Oh, that's the entrance to the castle. So where the entrances they were using were down on the right by the tollway, and then the other ones up right
here.
off
way
to the left.
that L shape.
The normal insertions
down here. Okay,
but that's how people walked out of the castle.
Right here, yeah.
When you
right
walk
here.
off the field is right there.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
That's why there's so much traffic going down it.
Okay.
But that's also where the spawn point was for the AI, and once that got blown up.
Okay, got you.
Once that got blown up, it started attacking certain points differently than it did earlier in the game, which was weird.
Right.
Okay, so let me ask you this question here, because again, one of the things I'm gonna shut this off here. Hold on. So one of the things I want to ask you about the capture point, right? So let's say, like I said, for me, Justin's gonna have some people coming back that's familiar with the app. A lot of people that's coming to play for me are going to be new players, new to the app, right? So
Well, hold on. That depends on you guys, because here's the thing. You
Practice
call
at
us
home.
up. You call it. Well, even if you call us up and say, "Hey, TB, we're going to run RTT at Joe Blow's field." You set your pins up. You go out. You play the game. Again, y'all can be
You can have 5 games under your belt.
They're as
inexperienced
they're
with
as
it.
new as we want them, as we allowed it to be, right?
Right. Because believe it or not, I mean, if Justin calls us and says, "Hey, dude, we're going to run, 40 people this weekend to practice," I'm going to be like, "Okay, cool, boom, here you go, turn it on, let you guys practice."
Right.
Because again, the more familiar you are with the app, the better the game is for us. We have proven that. I never understood why producers didn't teach people how to play their games.
So they could get over on them.
What we've learned
That's why.
Well, what we've learned is, fuck it. The more we teach you to play, the less gray area there is, because people don't have to reach into the gray area because they understand the game and actually can build strategies that fucking work. And there's less bullshit for the producer because the games, the players are making the game, and they're going to come off and be like, damn. And they've all of them have got firefight stories, even at night. The night games were like, dude, you knew where everybody was. If you went and took something, you knew that somebody was going to come try to take it back from you. Just sit there and wait. Within 5-10 minutes, you're going to have a firefight.
Right, exactly. They're coming. Exactly. They're coming.
Anybody watching that didn't get to play RTT, the way you capture something is, a lot of people said, "I'm never taking my phone out on the field." And you know what? I heard you. So the way this works is it just started capturing. As soon as you walked up to something and got within 5 meters, it started. Yep. And then all you had to do was stay within 25 meters, and it finished. And it automatically captured it, and that was that.
And that's what I was getting at.
You never even had to look at your phone.
That's what I was getting at, Alan. It's for the people who are coming in who like that exact that situation.
If you want to, yeah, sorry.
It gets even better if they don't want to take their phone on the field. If they just give you an account, you get 5 points. 6
if they got an achievement.
Right. But what I'm saying is, you got 150 people.
Yeah.
That's what,
a big
750 deal. That's 750 points if you have everybody on your side.
That's
just create an account.
That's 15 hits of a point generator, which takes 20 minutes a piece. So you can do 3 an hour. That's 5 hours worth of milking a point generator by itself. And that's hard to do.
Everybody log in.
Yeah. Holding a point generator is no joke. The other side can show up and blow it up. The AI can show up and blow it up. Anybody can come up and capture it. And every time you get your point generator capture, the meter starts from scratch. It takes 20 minutes to build up for these things to generate points.
Right.
For you to claim those points.
You have to hold that for those 20 minutes for it to build up.
Right. So, and if it gets blown up or restarts, that meter goes back to 0.
Exactly.
Right.
So every time you capture something, games like to do take and hold missions. Go take and hold this or that for 30 minutes. And you get the same effect with this, because you go somewhere, you and I we run out there, we go take Pondagon, we build a point generator on it. The capture took 3 minutes. Building the point generator took like 5 seconds, if that. Yep. So now they're going to be coming now. They're going to come at us for the next 20 minutes so we can get the points out of this thing.
Right.
And then if we want to keep the points, we got to keep holding it for 20 more minutes and 20 more minutes after that. And they're going to keep coming no matter what.
Right.
And then
because they see the dot on the map to come get it.
And if you don't blow it up and they get it, now they can start capturing it. And that happened several times where they would take an objective and the point generators would be on it, and they just convert the point generators to themselves.
Okay. Like when we run Super Game, we're gonna have to manage like 10 or 11 slapsticks out on the field, which means we always got to have eyes out there radioing back, and I got to have a sand table in front of us with the flags flipped showing what we hold at any given time.
Yeah.
So we can flip it on the app so everybody knows. And this whole game is just built that way. You know every flag at all times. Every player knows it. So any player that's just like, I want to make a difference for my team, you whip out your phone, turn it on, put it in your pocket, and go. You're done. That's it. If
you really want to make a difference for your team, get on and go tell your commander where some of his mistakes may be, because you can show him, because everybody sees it. You see what I'm saying? Yep. It really allows
I'll be right back.
everybody to group think and work through. Jason can tell you, I mean, again, military leadership, it's all about decentralized command. And we've talked about it, Guru. The more people that know what to do, the easier it is as a commander.
Yeah.
Because really, then now you're at a higher level. I'm not having to tell you how to do your job. I'm giving you the more you know how to do your job, the more the more high level directing I can get. It's like football. We can't do trick plays if you fuckers can't run a button hook left. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna be doing no Statue of Liberty or no flea flickers or no fucking fakes because you fuckers can't run a straight I formation. So you got to have people get that base play, and there's not that really in scenario anymore. I mean, how do you practice a scenario game?
I mean, there is no way to practice a current state right now scenario game. There's no way to practice it.
Right.
And we're back. Oh shit! Did we do all the world first? Because I'm gonna have to get out of here shortly.
I think we've done everything that we needed to do.
We had the world's first game where you could practice beforehand. We had the world's first AI commanded faction. We had the world's first AI NPCs.
World's first decentralized producer.
Yep.
Yeah, first remote game. This was the first time. What was a big deal for me anyway was this was the first game we did entirely by GPS. Previous games we've done image targets out on the field. You had to print those and laminate
Is that
those.
coming back? That's coming back though, right?
It's a mixture.
It's going to be a mix. Because something that if it's going to be like a moving objective or something like that, if it's going to be mounted on a tank, that's possible. But if it's an objective that I want to move around during the game, then there's not going to be an image for it.
So before I let you go, the reason why I brought that up, right? Because I thought Cal hop in the chat, right? Mm-hmm. So just thinking about what we just played, his Evil Dead game, right? If you can do the image capture with that, like just the possibility of how cool that will fucking be.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, dude, he could have it to where y'all cast a spell and inside of your phone it would do.
We
shit.
see fucking exactly. Yep.
Well, not just inside your phone, but with the Nreal glasses coming out, dropped in Korea this year and US next year, you'll actually see it in your face inside your goggles. Full holographic experience if you're wearing them.
Because one of the things that we do is, I mean, we invest in the infrastructure because that's kind of where our goal is to build those tools.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm.
Because I'm gonna tell you, I want to do a fucking Harry Potter game where motherfuckers can actually cast goddamn spells and shit.
Lightning bolt. Sleep.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I want to fucking take my little magic wand and fucking do the little incantation like bibbity boppity boo, and all of a sudden a fucking fireball hits you in your fucking face.
And again, I'm going back to because that was one of the things. So one of the missions I had to run was you had to go to the graveyard and say the what the fuck was the one he fucked up, the fucking thing that he fucked up he couldn't say, the Ash couldn't say, the spell.
I can't remember it.
Fuck, what was it?
Fuck.
But anyway, so you had to go to the location and water refuge and say it, right? So I think that will be dope. Like I said, you got to say
Klata Veratu Nictu or something like that.
And he said some shit like so what do you say? Nachos, Klatu Veratu Nachos, some shit like that, right?
Yep.
So again, it would have been cool as shit if that was in the app. And then like when you're looking in the app, you see all these fucking souls fly. What you get? What I'm saying? Like some shit like that.
Right.
Yeah. That's all. That stuff's coming. I've got so many prefabs.
Well, we actually had some of that built.
Stuff.
Well, we had some of that built in for the pirate game that Alan was doing. Is there were certain interactions that you would do that augmented through the phone. So whether that was, and then of course the escape room was a 3D escape room. There were several 3D puzzles you were going to have to do.
The best, most classic example of our image recognition is always Chrissy's maps. If Chrissy does a map for the game, we make an AR and we build it into the game. For the pirate game, it had all these X's and was a treasure map. And then poor Jason Bryant.
Oh shit! I heard. Listen, we heard. We fucking heard. We heard about Jason and the X's. We heard about that.
Yeah. They told that story of Jason and his parrot, and why Jason is Davy Jones' #1 bitch, who's looking hard for #2. I'm telling you, I cannot stress y'all. If you want something funny to watch, just go see the shit that Davy Jones has in store for Jason. Y'all just don't understand. He's a devious man, that Davy Jones.
Yeah.
Talking about Bobby's totally nice. He would never mess with you in any way, shape, or form.
I didn't say Bobby. I said Davy Jones.
Well, we'll see which Davy Jones we get.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, like I said, Cal did just say last time he got to use the Firefly, loved it, changed so much. He's looking for the event. I mean,
and I feel bad too. I feel bad for the people who had to play with the Firefly app because it was trash.
in comparison to what we have. I mean, again, that's what we do. But
The
yeah,
whole
I mean,
stack was trash compared to now, and then even in the
that's
beginning
part
of the
of-
year is trash compared to what we have at the moment.
right. And that's part of what the software is for producers. I mean, again, a lot of people think we're producers. And again, I want to stress, we are producing games because it's beta testing. You know what I'm saying?
Justin's an ass. Justin told me he traded his best friend. What the fuck you think? Talk about the
trade his
fucking
best
parent.
friend.
Yes,
Talk
I
about the
told you,
parent.
dude. I mean, Paco technologied and shit, man. It was awesome. He technologied and he role played.
That's
So,
Oh, Brian said I was told I needed padding. Jason, Brian, you need a zombie suit, bro. It's gonna hurt. You ever looked like your skin was falling off from leprosy? You're about to.
Oh.
see, I told you, Bryant, you need bitch number 2 quick.
Yeah, shit rolls downhill.
You got to get that padding between you and Davy Jones.
So I guess while we're talking, I got a couple more minutes while we were talking the game content. So RTT is very fast moving. It's all about capturing stuff, building on it. It's like Command and Conquer meets Call of Duty Hardpoint domination. That's literally all it is.
Kind of. I mean, because we don't have the in-depth tech tree. Because we are going to build an RTS portion. So what you need to understand is for us, RTT is going to be our foundation. So even in scenario games that we do and the producers that do our style. So I mean, we can do any producer style. So the way to look at it when we work with
I don't
a producer,
want to have one style.
right? But I mean, when we do work for producer, the way I explain it to them is, we can sell you the meat, we can sell you the pot, I can sell you the recipe, I can come cook it for you. You tell me what you need, and we'll make it work on that. But when it's shit that we want to do to test, can we do it? We're gonna pull out all the stops and do all the craziness.
That's what you got Mutant Civil War for too.
Right.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
So when we produce games, we're gonna do crazy shit that you may not get at a different producer's game because we know the things in and out, and we're normally testing something. Like a lot of people thought that this past weekend with me and Joe being the Terminators, that it was going to be a shit show of a third faction. Well, the reality is we only went out a couple of times, specifically told by the AI. And the reason why was I wanted Alan to be able to see how the AI can make assumptions based off what real life players do. Because if we're going to get to a point where AI commanders are helping players, or not even AI commanders, you can have an AI Watson. You get a new player doesn't know how to play, the AI can kind of coach them on things that they should do as it sees who's playing and what they're doing. It can almost kind of direct you into kind of how you need to do stuff to engage and get into the game. It doesn't have to be, as linear as an AI commander. You could have an AI butler, so to speak, that can kind of help you out.
Gotcha.
You can have a game with all humans, human leadership, and just simple AI NPCs because it's like Warcraft. Instead of a paradigm where a referee hands you a card, you're going to have to go onto a field, go to an NPC on the field and get your mission from that guy, and that guy will lead you down a quest chain. And that's the kind of stuff that I want to have for guys like Red Feather and guys like Josh Nutt, because they make these fucking awesome games that have the details, and they do
or Ledbetter with Dragon.
Ledbetter too. Exactly. He made a great AVP game at Mount Doom.
Yeah, that would have been the shit with Predator Vision.
God!
I'll just tell you, if the game goes off next year, because there's supposed to be an Aliens versus Predator versus Marines game, and we're supposed to be running the Predators, but one of the things is there's a limited number. I think there's only going to be like 12 or 13 of us, but we're going to be all Predator fucking out with all of our Predator fucking tech and everything else.
Oh, the mountains, mate. If you've been to Mount Doom,
AJ's already found how we can build invisibility shields for about $35 each that we can carry with us. That actually stop paintball hits. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're lightweight too.
Listen. Okay. All right.
Sounds like somebody wants to be some Predators too. I see.
Hey,
dude, you will until you will. You're going to be happy to be at Mount Doom until you actually have to walk up and down Mount Doom.
Hey, fuck.
Because it's this crazy Alabama mountain that is like a dinosaur fossil place.
That's fucking what it looks like. It looks like fucking something out of Jurassic Park.
It does, and there's these crazy elevation changes that are like nothing I've ever seen anywhere else.
And we're gonna be down in the jungle. It looks like a fucking South American kind of jungle with a lot of hills, because South American jungle is not already hot. A lot of it's arid, but it's it's very high up as well.
Dude, the
so
only
you
place
got
I've seen
mountain
like
mixed in it.
the only place I've seen shit like that was Hawaii. That was kind of
Right.
crazy elevation changes, and that's because
But you remember the big ditch, right, Alan?
kind of
When we walk straight out, we're
yeah.
down in there. That's where we are. They've got to come to us.
No, fuck that. We're going up the hill. We're taking the very top of the hill, taking our stuff with us.
No.
It's
We're
going
down
downhill.
You said taking the stuff with you. So
no, you didn't listen to me.
So you don't have to go back.
We're in the jungle. That's where we are. They've got to come down to us.
Okay.
When they die, guess where they have to go?
Oh, back uphill. Dude,
Why
you don't
are we going up a
understand this
hill?
place.
Why am I going up a hill? Fuck that. I'm going downhill.
It
What
feels
time
like
I'm going
it's like
uphill
a
when the game's over?
It feels like by the time you go from the bottom of this field to the top of it, you've gone up like 500 feet.
Probably, but we're not going to the top. Fuck that. We're in the bottom. They got to come to us.
The top has the most
We're the
amazing
tech
base.
people.
we have to talk about this. I want to understand more about this. So this is interesting to me now.
We're gonna be hunting motherfuckers like
Mount
predators.
Doom is murder on your ass cheeks. That's all you need to know. That thing's so tall.
Dude, we walked that damn field with the GPA shit, and I shit you not, the next day we both got up,
died.
barely able to fucking walk. Because you just don't know. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We're sitting there bullshitting, and you're just going up and down these fucking elevation changes. And the next fucking day, I was like, God damn, I feel like I've been humping a goddamn mountain.
I'm a flatlander. I ain't never seen no shit like this before.
So, but it ought to be pretty fun.
All right. Well, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, yeah, Justin and them. Yeah, because remember, here we go. All my predators will be carrying their own little predator dagger. And we're going to have predator fights where predators challenge each other to go up the ladder. So we're gonna rank all the predators by their ability to fight with the daggers against each other.
Oh, so I had a guy reached out to me too. I told him to reach out to you guys. He want to see if the app can do like a ranking system. Some they do custom. I told him to reach out. I told him that but so just so you know, if somebody reaches out to you, asks you about some type of ranking thing how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, he asked me about it. I told him to reach out to you guys.
Cool.
Okay.
I told him the shit's probably already there.
Yeah, most likely, because remember you asked me for a scoreboard thing a while back, and I was like, fuck, fine, let's Google it. And then we had the answer within like seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Every 90% of what you want exists except for a fucking scenario infrastructure. And that's
well, like I was saying before he jumps off, RTT for us is always going to be that. So then the scenario is going to sit on top of it. So if you show up at an RKE game that we've run, even the most advanced scenario game out there, you can just show up and play RTT.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be how your economy for the scenario game goes. So your general's going to have to he's going to have to build shit and manage resources to be able to buy the stuff he needs for the scenario game.
That's also kind of a big cultural difference between what we do.
Right. So now as a commander, you're going to have to manage the storyline. You're going to have to manage the economy. You're going to have to manage RTT and manage all of the players and everything that's going on. To me, that's a challenge.
Yeah.
I've had games. That's where the games used to be.
Yeah, well, it's a different culture.
We talk about what's been lost.
It's the pre-recruitment culture.
I understand that, but Matt wants to play that kind of game.
Oh yeah, I know.
Where you got to manage everything. Lacey wants to play that kind of game, and so that's where I see. That's the reason why I'm wanting to get a belt and make an RTT a big fucking deal at Sherwood, because that's going to wind up being the flagship game. Whatever
else we can get through.
Whatever RTT stuff we do is probably going to filter back to Sherwood, because Sherwood's going to be the one where we try all the
new shit, and
all the new stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, while we're at it, we'll add with the Planet Eclipse frame on the way. The CS2 will be fully integrated into the RTT experience.
Yes.
You know, I'm excited about that one. I'm excited about that one.
I am too. We have a new avatar system.
Did you reach out? Did you reach out to the Bluetooth autococker guy that I sent you?
Sci-fi? No, I have not yet.
So there is a Bluetooth autococker board now for e-cockers.
Oh, he makes a bunch of stuff. He's in Dallas. The guy's named Sci-Fi something.
Yeah, you need to get with him.
Yeah,
so any drop-in boards that come out with Bluetooth and shit like that, I mean, we can roll them into the app to where you can take all your, just like we've got all these charts and shit for your game information. You can track all your gun shit. You can set it up for custom things. You know, we were talking about making the top one key the mic to talk over voice over IP, and your bottom one for ping.
We actually ran out of input outputs on the board for now. We're hitting the limit of I think this current board, because you would have to do some other stuff, but we're getting the trigger pull event first, and we're going to run with that. And we're going to get the 3 features above for that. You're going to get the paint meter above your avatar. The custom avatar system is coming into Warlord very soon. You can completely customize your dude. We're having more art that's paintball related commission for him. Everything about your character. You can make him look like a space alien or just you. It doesn't matter. And then that will replicate, because I don't know if we had. I think I sent over the picture of the little voxel soldiers running by, because there's like the cyborg dude standing there.
Yeah, I think you were like a fucking a mechanical leg or some shit like that.
Yeah. The cyborg guy has been the stock avatar that we've been using until we get the custom avatar system finished, and then that will proliferate so everybody sees whatever you configure your guy as. Okay. And that's the way that'll be from now on. Yep. But then we got to put a marker in his hand, and that will be linked to your CS2. So when you shoot, he shoots. You'll have the paint consumption meter over his head. We'll have, oh shit, I'm in a gunfight alert that pops up to friends. So
we don't have to figure that out for me, because again, as you know.
Well, I'm gonna test the board, and then I'll send you the board when I'm done.
Okay.
It's a stripped frame, and then you can just swap the frame, and you can just swap the board into your frame, and you can run it on the field. And we'll do it that way.
Okay.
And then, of course, there's it's still far-fetched. I want to implement it. I want to implement pod drop. We'll have to have the right infrastructure and the right venue to get it done. But when you run low on paint and air, your stuff is just brought to you by, we'll get one of those pro ref teams. Lawrence is shaking his head. He knows it's basically impossible because here's
the deal. I can make it work, but it's not going to work in a normal RTT game. It would only work in the boutique RTT tournament format that we've talked about, where you have 20 man. You've got 2 20-man teams, 1 hour,
you need
max points.
Because you need somebody designated to be able to watch that.
Imagine it, dude. Imagine you're in a firefight, and now you ask for paint, and I got to get paint to you. Well, by the time paint gets to you,
you out.
You're out.
You've been out 10
minutes.
And
now you pissed at me. I only got, let's say I got 10 motherfuckers that can run paint. That means conceivably I got to hope that you motherfuckers are all in one line, and I can hit all of you at one time.
Right.
It's awesome to sound like, and it's like, oh man, imagine that. But until everybody's got their own personal motherfucking teleporting genie, that shit ain't gonna fucking work.
You need your own. Well, hey, I'm just saying, if you can afford 5 cases, you can probably afford a Sherpa.
I mean, yeah, but you could have that for everybody. Again, look, y'all can take your prospect and make him paint bitch. And y'all, whenever he hears the ding, he's got to run paint out to wherever y'all are.
Apparently, they're limiting their prospects into flag stations or into slapsticks.
But that's y'all.
4 kids up there like, come on, little kid. And your Houston Heat fucking hoodie, go over there and get that slapstick.
Hey, man, annihilated. Hey, that kid was a beast. We told him, hey, stop doing that shit.
I know, I'm just messing with y'all.
I know. Water was clutch for us.
Yes, Josh, we're gonna have airstrikes. Yes. We're actually working. I started working through Arduino because we're going to start working on wearables. They're going to come out next year, and one of the first wearables we're going to work on is a LED armband that you wear, and the LED, if you're out, will flash red. So if you're just walking along,
everybody's like, "Red is dead." Okay,
right.
Red's dead. Red means stop.
Let's say your guys are sitting there all in a circle, and y'all are shooting, and all of a sudden, your little speaker, you hear boom. An air strike, and you look down and your shit's flashing red. Yeah, that means you died in the airstrike. You need to go ahead and walk off the field. So you don't have to necessarily be wearing it'll be your color. If your color's blue, it'll be blue. If your color's yellow, it'll be yellow.
But when something happens, it flashes. And then, I guess orange would be kind of more so if we do have to have an all stop, would it just flash?
Yep.
Orange.
We'd do that. Right. I mean, we'd make the colors different for whatever. I mean, it doesn't have to flash red, but there will be indicators to kind of tell you status of game, status of whatever. I'm looking at doing a 5-line LED line, so we'll actually be able to do some animated shit.
Now we can get what your character upgrades are, so we can make you a high value target.
Right.
So you know who to shoot.
We can put 1 line, 2 lines, 3 lines. We can make different fucking icons, all this other crazy shit. on the armbands.
Justin just put in the chat. I mean, we full on Call of Duty at this point in time. Justin's putting in the chat at UAV, which would be fucking dope if a UAV go live and people start hitting the map.
I have a 100-inch, 2-hour fixed wing UAV, but the problem is there's no runway at Sherwood. I would have to take it off from the freeway.
No, I meant within the app. So let's say, I mean, my mind started going too. Let's say within the app, you got the wearables,
virtual, right?
You got
virtual.
the wearables, yeah. You got the wearables, and then
we're talking about we're talking about launching actual UAVs.
Oh shit! Okay,
and then you being right, we've got them, and you as a commander being able to task UAVs to field commanders. So hey, you got a mission here. Boom, here's your UAV's video. This is what you see on site right now. And you're tasking the UAV to give him real-time intel, and then you're sending him on his way, and you're switching the UAV to something else.
That's fucking nuts.
So, I mean, that is the goal for the Ronin games, because realize and maybe a lot of people don't realize this because we hadn't said it in a long time. Once we start the software out and people start using our tools to build their own parts, we're going to build an RKE league where Alan and I are going to be like the fucking Jigsaw in fucking Saw. We're just going to build crazy ass games that motherfuckers are going to pay to fucking try to beat. Every fucking scenario game is going to be 24 hours of how much paintball can you do while we throw all kinds of crazy shit at you.
Okay. I'm down for the challenge. I want the challenge.
Esports.
Right. Yeah,
most games out there are a lifestyle. You show up with your boys, you have fun. You don't really care who wins, but we kind of track everything. We're obsessive about it. Can't help it.
Right.
We
Fog of
quoted
War
numbers.
is going to be a big thing. I mean, that's coming up. Fog of War is where you can't see anything on the field until you cross it, so you won't know what's there or not. And we could make it to where before the game totally randomizes, so you don't know where everything is. You've got to find the objects. You got to find what they are. So you've practiced one way, but then because they've got that, you've got the experience. You now got to go find what the objects are and where they are.
So So that's gonna be an event where. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, Alan and I, we've got all kinds of shit, and believe it or not, we love to challenge people. We love to write games for people to figure it out, because again, that's the enjoyment people get.
I'm with it, because like I said, I mean, for me, I know you just said people like that. Fuck that. I like to win, right? I like to win. Now, if I lose, I'm gonna take my loss, but I like to fucking win. Right.
But losing spectacularly, there ain't nothing wrong with that either. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with going down, screaming, say hello to my little friend.
Exactly. I'm gonna go down in the gunfight. Exactly.
Or giving the fingers, or screaming Wolverine, or whatever the fuck it is.
And that brings us back. Let's manage to circle us all the way back to the modifier, so that when the game ends 2 hours early, we can start implementing crazier rules. Like all of a sudden, you go from having an open insertion to now you got an insertion every 10 minutes.
Right.
Oh, you're now really far ahead. Now your insertion's every 20 minutes.
Right. Now you got to manage your people. You can't just keep sending them into the grinder, because now you got to keep them alive. You got to manage
that side. And that side may have lost, but now you've got a lot of disadvantages, and now it's time for them to get their payback right out of your ass.
Exactly. Right. Okay.
Now, but again, if you're good enough to hold it, then
hold it.
Here's the deal. Well, because I've had multiple people at this game, just so y'all know, because y'all don't have this experience with me, but I've had several people come up and go, "Okay, great, TB, I get it, but what would TB of old do? How would he take this? How would he do this rule?" And I'm like, well, first, y'all need to realize that this was built by Alan originally to be the TB and Thunderstruck Killer. It was meant to push us so fucking hard that he found the limit that we were at. That way he could control it. Because once you find that limit, you can control that person. You know what I'm saying? I know how far I got to go. Now I know what your parameters are. I got control of you. You see what I'm saying? I know how to manipulate you and push you. So that's what
experience that you actually like and enjoy.
Right. That's what this game does. This game tries to learn how you want to play and key against you as the overall commander.
And then
not at the player level, right? Yeah. But as the overall commander. And I said, so as TB, I can tell you, I would want to hit that modifier every fucking game. How high can I raise that modifier? How bad can I dominate you that it gets harder on me? How bad? All right, boom. It's 2 modifier, great. 3 modifier, great. 4 modifier, great. I want 5 fucking modifier. I
built
want
the
to do.
shit. I wouldn't want to be subjected to it.
I do. I want to manage it. I want to see, can I fucking do it? Can I beat that goddamn computer? Can I beat a motherfucker 5 times to 1?
I'm gonna skate along without triggering it.
That's you.
I mean, listen. I mean,
No strategy's wrong.
It ain't just him and Lacey. Because again, they're the thing, right? You want to. So here's my thought on that, right? I want to touch it too, right? I want to just see if I can force it to kick in. Once it kick in, I know I can do it. Then now I want to figure out where's the fine line between triggering it and staying where the person can't catch up.
You'll know what's happening because you'll be calling my phone.
All right. Yeah. All right.
But see, me, I don't want. I want to see how far can I ring it up. I want to ring the bell.
I got school tomorrow. I got to go do first grade. My wife's got to do third. I'm gonna get out of here.
No, there's no doubt. I mean, like I said, listen, I appreciate both of you guys coming on. I know you guys got a recap coming up for the game. From your end.
Oh, no problem.
I'll be tuning into that.
I've been doing one the whole time.
Yeah, Lacey, to say it was a great show. I want to say thank you for that. And again, I appreciate you guys coming on.
For sure.
Yeah, we were just trying to talk about the challenges of content delivery and different approaches that people take and how we do it and let people make up their own.
Well, I know that Red Feather's talked a couple of times. I mean, we're definitely going to be talking with him about what Ronan can do to help power his stuff up. I mean, again, we're here to help producers and field owners that want to try to dabble in this kind of stuff.
I think this app with Red Feather would be phenomenal. Personally, again, it'll be phenomenal.
Right, for sure. And I mean, again, we've worked with Chrissy already, so I think we've got a pretty good working relationship with at least half of them. I know I know Red Feather's coming up to play for you guys at Super Game, and then he's also coming to play for Lacey at RTT.
Yeah, I'll see him in 2 weeks at Blast Camp. So
right.
Yep.
Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a good game.
It will be. So again, I appreciate you guys like that. So Alan, I know you said you got stuff to do. I'm gonna get with you because I'm gonna try to go up to that field this weekend and get some pins dropped and see if me and Mike can play against each other. Well, maybe not Mike because of that issue. So
have you ever been to an airsoft event?
Tell him what we found out about that. So the port blocking.
Oh, yeah, it's probably account related.
It's got to be account related because
I told them earlier today.
Right.
I told them in messages. So we had problems.
We've got another person, is what I'm saying. That's in another part of the country that ain't.
That's what he was saying. Yeah, that's what he was telling me. Yeah,
right. J-Air from Delta is the only other person who cannot connect at all. They have their port blocked. They cannot hit ours. Usually, that's going to be account based for whatever reason.
Do you have a tablet, Grizz?
Do you have
You don't have a tablet at all?
Have we tried on Alice's phone at all?
It's probably gonna be the same thing. She has the same
might
phone.
Be same account.
Well, you would know if it's account related and not device related because it could be device related too.
We'll keep troubleshooting it. We'll figure it out because I'm gonna move us around on ports to another popular game port that I know is not blocked on Sprint at all, and then that'll get us a little closer to the answer.
Right.
Okay.
If not, I'm just gonna slip a burner on a hotspot in your pocket, and you can use that. That's serious. Connects just fine.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. What I'm saying is like you can go to Walmart and they've got them. My Bobby just got one. It was 8.1 for like $49, and put your phone on a hotspot and run the tablet. Off the
view's better too.
And you got 8 inches of view instead of a phone. You're not bringing your phone out. You got a $49 tablet. And you put the fucking service plan for $20 on it, and fucking breaks. You take it back to them for 2 years because they replace the shit for free no matter what.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean,
I'm just saying. I mean,
well, I mean, listen. I was prepared. I was prepared to go with the iPad, and I mean, you know,
I took mine. I took my iPad Pro 12. Joe was like, "They're gonna shoot you in your shit." I said, "The motherfucker shoots my iPad, I'm gonna beat their fucking ass." And since I'm the game director, I'm not gonna eject myself. So I'm gonna eject you from the game too. You're gonna get your ass beat, and you're gonna get ejected.
While we're on the topic of broken devices, there weren't any. Again,
none.
So we haven't broken a device in a single game.
Nope.
There's been hundreds of devices on field, none broken.
We
had one get lost.
There was one
and
phone lost,
found and turned in.
And they found it and turned it in.
You can't lose a phone at a game when you can just go find my phone and it tells you where it is.
Right. Or have it on, or just go in, like you said, find my phone and make it ring and just have people.
You don't even want to do it on the app. If you do it on the app, you should be able to find it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless you slept it. But if you slept it with Find My Phone or the Samsung Find My Phone,
you just get it
find it even with sleep. So
okay. On that note, I'm gonna give you good night. Bid you guys good night.
All right, no problem.
Bye,
Joe. I
Alan.
appreciate it.
Later,
Everybody
guys.
that's here. Thank you.
Bye. So like I was saying, and we're going to shift it up a little bit. You guys need to make sure that you practice between now and then. Because yes, Lacey does have you on advantages, but you've got two advantages that are going into it. One is Delta. Delta's been using the app longer than Lacey.
Okay.
As a team. What I mean by that is Delta was the pioneers of Warlord. So you get on top of the experience, because again, I love Lacey and the deplorables, but Delta was a peer of Thunderstruck. You see what I'm saying? So I already know what Delta brings to the table as a paintball team. I XO'd for Josh, so I know what Josh and Delta bring as 8 of them. I mean, the joke is if 8 of them show up, they're like, there's only 8. And the next thing you know, that 8, like you see in the stats for this game, generate 3/4 the fucking points.
Yeah.
Because they're a lot like Thunderstruck in that old score. Well, they'll separate if they need to separate. If they need to force multiply, they will. They try to work as a unit within the entire game. So that's going to give you a huge up. That's really that people haven't really considered. You see what I'm saying? The second one is going to be Alan starting the game out with you, because he's going to give you that initial push. You know what I'm saying? Because as the game director, he and I we have different views into it because we wrote it. We know, and now that we've got all the data, we can sit back and look at the data and figure out how people play and how they manipulate things and how they move around. So we do the same thing in Warlord. We gather all that data. So after a game, we shit with Delta and show them where they were, how they played the game, where their people were, and things like that. So between now and this game in October, you need to generate as many experiences as you can with that, with as many people that are going to play for you as possible, just because that experience level is going to beat that learning curve. Because there is a learning curve. And it's easy to do it. That's why we brought out to use it at home, but then to be able to go to the field and go out and practice. I think the deplorable spent
the whole time we was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think they were there. They were there before then too.
Yeah.
And then
they were there before then. Then by the time we got there, they were still out there because we was leaving. I'm like, should I bump into him? But you're like, no, he out there practicing. Right.
And as Justin said, Delta's huge. Delta rolls like 23, 24 deep. So if they get all of Delta, plus Delta knows quite a few teams in the Northeast. Mm-hmm. Delta's played with the 13th. So if you get the 13th, I think Joe Perez has talked about coming out with bringing the East Coast 13th with you. So, I mean, anybody that wants to play, as Josh Foote said, agreed, it's Call of Duty Domination. If you want to real life play Call of Duty Domination for 17 hours, and we are open to opening it. If you guys want to run full 24, we'll open it up. Because again, as long as everybody's calling hits, and these are guys that are adults that are playing, the refs are there to just watch paintball, even at night. You got the game and you run the game. So if we get there, or we get closer, and y'all guys feel froggy and want to strap on that 24 hours, hey, I'll turn it on. I love it. I'm down with it. If you guys run 19 or 17 hours, we'll run to 17 hours. I mean, I don't look down on anybody that wants to play. Right. We'll give you as much time as we can. But the fact we ran the entire game with 5 refs, and there were no ref issues whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean that says a lot for the technology, in my opinion.
Right. And the refs knew where to go. They knew where the firefights are going to be.
So yes, are the refs sitting there with apps too, or do they have their app going too?
They will have their app next year. We've got Bobby is starting to build that out. He's starting to put all that together to where the app. So the AI, while it's watching all the players, the AI will also be watching the refs and seeing where the refs are in relation to the players, and then moving the people in according. So it'll notify the ref, hey, there's a firefight over here. Or it'll allow you to stage the refs better off of the break, because you'll be able to look at the heat map and see how players break and have the refs where they need to be. And this is new refs, meaning this whole problem of we got brand new refs. Okay, if you got a competent head ref, who knows his field and has seen the heat maps and has seen how the games are played, he knows definitively based on the format where to put his new refs. You know what I'm saying? You need to be here because this is the first bunker everybody comes to. This is where the first firefight's going to stage right here. So I need all my refs here.
Right.
And then as the firefight moves,
they can spread on out and get to the different.
The app will move them. Correct.
Yeah. Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like that. My thing is, or my main goal here is to get this man to my right on the screen. Get this man set up in the app so I can get him familiar with it. Get the rest of my team familiar with doing it and using it. I got a lot of guys that run with us that are interested in getting into it, that want to be there. Just getting them familiar with the app and getting them familiar with how to use it. I know, Alan made the point that when you get to the place, you just have to stand there. But those are going to be for the guys that kind of don't want to have the app out, have the phone out. That's doing the actual other work. That's doing the bomb plants and the captures and stuff like that.
Right. What you run into real quick is just like, we talked about with Jason in that game, is you run into, once you've got your 5 demo players, you now know who you're calling. You're now directing those people rather than going, hey, I need a demo guy. You're going, okay, in this instance, Delta Mike. Delta Mike's job was apparently to fuck up the AI. Every time the AI built something, Delta Mike blew the shit up. I mean, that's just how it fucking worked. So apparently Delta Mike was keyed on the AI, whether it was intentional or unintentional. That's where his 18 fucking blowups came from, was going after the AI. So that allows you now, even with medics and engineers, you're able to move those people around. And then one of the things I was telling people is you've got to do something now. Everything is a skill set. Used to be, if you're the engineer, if you just showed up, it rebuilt the object. If you were the medic, I just came up, wrote your number down, and wiped your paint off, and you're back in. Well, now you've got to come up, interact with that player. Then you've got to do a mini game as the medic. And if you fail the mini game,
the player dies.
That dude dies.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You're a sucky ass medic if you can't do the mini game. But that's the way it is in the real life as well. You know what I mean? You come up, just because I yell medic doesn't mean
I'm back in the game just once you get in my location.
Right. Same thing with an engineer. Maybe you sucked in engineering school and you can't fucking rebuild shit.
And to that point with Red Feather's game, right? Where with the medic, it had a bag of blood. And it's like, so he called for a medic, the guy ran over to him, gave him the bag of blood. In order for the medic to kind of use it again, that had to be returned back to the base. So if that guy stayed out there and never took it back, that medic was pretty much washed, until that bag came back.
Well, see, in this, we control that with the app. We control how many times you heal. We control how close you got to be to somebody before you can heal them. Because, again, that GPS function mixed in with image scanning. So you're going to start having to see that blend. That's kind of what we've tested, is you've got to kind of have this for the game that we want. And what I mean by that is that it's not what every producer may want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But for the game that Alan and I foresee, we're going to wind up having control points, which are phones or tablets connected to LED devices that show you who own it. We're going to have that, as well as image targets, as well as GPS, all working together with a smoothing algorithm with everybody else in the app. So once that happens, the level of control should be within 1 to 3 meters. That's what we've projected through the algorithms.
Okay.
So it should, it's going to become super tight. You know what I'm saying? But once that happens and people understand and get some confidence in that infrastructure, that's when you'll start seeing the crazy shit that we can do with it. Things we can turn on, things we can move around, to where you get surprised just in all kinds of different ways. And for me, reacting to something is a experience definer. Something comes up, you think about baseball or football or basketball, that guy that at the end that sinks the fucking shot in the last fucking 3 seconds.
Right.
He dwarfed every other fucking highlight.
Yeah, exactly. Any highlight reel, any dunk that was done, any fast break, exactly. That shot is what
is highlight of the night.
That's what you end the clip with now. At that point in time, that's what you end the game off with. That's the clip that ends the game. When they show the game, when they show the highlights on ESPN, they're showing that shot as the last one to walk off the game with. Right. I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Plus, it's in all the feeders because they want people to see it. So they may not show the whole thing, but they'll show you get ready to start, and they'll throw that teaser down at the bottom because that's what everybody wants to see is that clutch thing. And in this particular format, it builds clutch moments. I mean, it really does. Because again, that was kind of the intent of where slapsticks went. The guy is running for the slapsticks will have this great experience. And the thing is that's real hard to guarantee. You're probably gonna have a great experience about 20% of the damn time.
Yeah, because the other 80% you're gonna lit the fuck up.
Yeah.
Especially with how it is today. And again, like I said, I typically don't do final battles. Not no more. I mean, and again, I haven't been playing long at all, but fuck that. I don't do final battles. Just for the purpose of running up there, getting the shit shot out of me. I mean, even running to it, you're getting the shit shot out of you. Not even once you get there. So,
See, when we started before final battle, the slapsticks came about. Viper invented the slapstick. That is true. He did. I can tell you when they were invented. I can tell you why they were invented. They were invented because originally the final battle was a take and hold mission. So there would be objectives at the 50, and whoever took and held the most objectives is who won the final battles. Okay. That's how most final battles were at scenario games, or they were mission based. But most of them were take and hold. Each side had to take and hold something for X amount of time. So the take and hold for 30. That means you got to take it and hold it for 30. If you lose it, then you don't get the mission. The other side's just trying to take it and hold it. So either side, it does this weird bounce through house. So they came up with slapsticks because you used to be able to have off-gun barrel tags. So if I had a barrel that wasn't on a gun, I could touch you like a knife. So you'd have people run around the field with just a barrel.
Okay.
Well, as that happened, final battle, people were normally broke. They didn't go buy paint. So they would take their barrels off and run around final battle barrel tagging people.
Okay.
Then the barrels started getting bigger, and you got a 16-inch or a 24-inch boomstick playing final battle with 2 foot of metal.
Definitely hurting. It's a safety concern.
Then you got people making because people do all kinds of shit when they make stuff, making handles to screw into your 24-inch boomstick that makes it look like a knife. Now that it looks like a knife and you got a handle, what are people going to do?
They're going to stab the shit out of you.
You see what I'm doing?
Exactly.
So now you got people with 2 foot clubs of metal out at the 50 beating the fuck out of each other for final battle.
Right. Justin talking about pipe fight. Right. Exactly.
So barrels, the rules were the barrel had to go back on the gun, and they brought up slapsticks so that you impart wanting people to shoot. Because a slapstick final battle is the only time in paintball where you are encouraged to overshoot people and people are actually happy to be overshot. Gotcha. Think about it. You walk down the road, somebody throws fucking 80 in you. You're going to be raising fucking hell. You go for the slapstick, you getting at least 80 thrown into you. And these fucking stupid idiots are jumping up going, woo, look at that motherfucker, woo!
Right.
And take 80 in the back while they're running off the field. Yet that'd be that first motherfucker out in the field that you throw a rope into and tell him get the fuck off. That'd be bitching and raising hell about you overshooting him.
I'm caught in trouble.
But at the final battle, it's all good, baby. Throw those ropes. Throw them ropes in like your ass is Ghostbusters and you trying to get Slimer. Everybody throw a fucking stream in his ass. It's the game. So and it was done, believe it or not, originally to help you finish consuming all of your paint. You got leftover paint. Now it's become, as y'all saw, you need to go buy more paint for Final Battle. Now Final Battle is like last call at the fucking bar. Everybody's got to get a shot before you go.
Right, look what Cal said. Even just barrel tagging nowadays. I don't know how many times I've been barrel tagged. Like I was getting stabbed with a band. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. I mean, and again, to a point for me, shoot me, shit. You know what I'm saying? Shoot me, goddammit.
Well, I mean, I used to wear a 2-inch micro mag barrel around my neck, and that's what I'd barrel tag you with. I just take it off. I mean, right in front of you, I just take the barrel and tab you with it, go barrel tag and drop it.
Right.
And that's why the barrel tags, you had to put them back on the gun because people would bitch because I wore a 2-inch micro mag around my neck, like a little fucking hand grenade by by sailor and barrel tag people. Barrel tag has its place. I mean, again, it's cool.
If you do it right, it's okay.
You go in and do a 25-man barrel tag, dude. There's nothing like that. There's nothing like starting at the back of a fucking line of players shooting and work your way all the way to the front, or get in, especially a nighttime mission. Nighttime missions, dude. You get in with a team and you're out there and they're running the mission, and then every time somebody just kind of drifts off, you just barrel tag them. And if they play it right, where you're like, hey, just take the hit, and they give it, and they do what they're supposed to do, they just turn around and walk off. You'll have teams start going, where the fuck's Bill? Right. And dude, it's like a horror movie. Exactly. All of a sudden, everybody, they're like, what the fuck? They're always trying to figure out who everybody is. Somebody's in this motherfucking group killing everybody. And now he's like, how far can you sneakily cap every motherfucker before you get busted?
Right.
Rather than just coming in and blasting them out. So, but I mean, again, it just depends on the way people barrel tag and what they think about barrel tags. I think in Chad's thing, it's more of these guys get, because it's adrenaline based. I mean, it's somebody that's barrel tag, again, dropping a base by yourself. You don't drop a base by yourself in the front door. You know what I'm saying? You don't walk to the front door and call your shot like Babe Ruth and drop the fucking base.
Right.
You got to sneak in. I mean, if you're doing it by yourself. And there's nothing an adrenaline shot like laying next to the insertion trail at night. And then when the insertion walks in, you just get up and walk in with them. And then you wait till the window closes, and then you just pull up and start shooting everybody in the base. Now they're all freaking the fuck out. The insertion window is closed. So everybody that gets hits got to walk back off the field. Now the base is quiet. Yeah, now the base is quiet for 20 minutes. There's nobody in the base but you. And that's what you do. Then you leave the base. I mean, I did this one night for multiple hours. You leave the base, lay back down the insertion trail. They open it up. They're going to come running down. They're going to tear that base apart looking for you. And you sneak in with them again. And then shoot them all. Once they can't find you, you shoot them all again. And you play that game all night, and they get mad.
And that's what we did. Now, and Cal, I don't know if you noticed, but that's what we did. We had a mission. We had to hold the castle for 20 minutes. Now, not my idea. Well, I mean, it was Mallow from the Reapers. They put a kid in a container, put a kid in there, and left him. And they shot all of us out, but they could not find the one kid. That was it. We had him. They had him stuck in a container. And he was in there for the entire 20 minutes. I think they called it at 15 minutes. I think we were all out, but the kid was still in there. They told that kid, don't say nothing, don't shoot at nobody, just hold tight. And he did what he's supposed to do. That shit was clutch. That was clutch.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't wait. Like I said, I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna see if I can go up to the field we're gonna be at next week tomorrow, and just see if I can drop some pins so that we can try something.
All right.
Just try.
The truth is, what y'all need to do is at Blast Camp, have Alan kick Blast Camp out like we would do it as RTS, and have Justin play a game with you on Blast Camp, like the practice game, and walk you through how to play the game at Blast Camp, because that's what they did. I mean, you go out on the field and you basically play the fucking game without paintball guns. You know what I'm saying? You can start from your base and say, okay, from the break, the 5 of us are going to pretend like we're 5 teams. So from the break, I'm going to send us out so you can see on your map how the breakout looks. You see how the teams are going to go. You see what I'm saying? And that gives you so much at the game. You can see how your guys are moving and are they getting it. You go, okay, cool. We're going to go up and blow that up. Or, hey, we're going to come up and rebuild this. How do you rebuild it? How do you blow it up? How do you medic? How do you play the mini game? How do you get the resources? And that's what they did. They started out going to one objective and everybody getting a chance to do it. Then they go, okay, now you're going to go to the objective by yourself, and I want to see you do it. I want to see you click it because I'm going to get notified that you did it. You see what I'm saying? If you watch that combat log, you can see, okay, boom, you got it done. Yeah. Plus, what they were doing without using voice over IP is they were using their radios too. So basically, hey, I got it done. I don't see it yet. Okay, what did you do? You see what I'm saying? They're constantly working back and forth. If they don't have somebody next to them, I saw that a couple of times. There'd be somebody talking to somebody else using their video while they got somebody else trying to do it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah,
and that makes sense. Like I said, so Cal and Justin, they both said the same thing. Like, Cal is okay with us doing it at Blast. I mean, at the Purge.
Well, you don't have to even do it during the game. I mean, you can do it that Friday night, and walk through.
Right.
It's not necessarily something you got to do during the game. It's just something that Justin, having done it And Justin, again, the more you play the games, the more we're going to promote people as subject matter experts, because that's kind of, again, not only am I going to teach everybody how to play my game that wants me to teach them, the people that I really teach that learn, I want them to be the experts. I want players to be able to go to them and say, how do I do this? Because again, the more people out there that know how to do it, the easier the game is.
Right.
Because you're not the only person. Yeah, it doesn't stoke the ego as much that everybody's got to come ask you. But you know what? Efficiency wise, fuck the ego. The shit gets done. And that's more important in the grand scheme of things. So that's what I was saying. Yeah. So Justin says, yeah, he's down. He can definitely show that. And like I said, Alan can set up the game at Blast Camp, because I'm going up there in November to do an airsoft, to meet the airsoft people at Sherwood. And I'm going to ride over to Blast Camp.
Yeah. Yeah. Alan told me. Yeah.
Yeah. And take a look at that. So, yeah, I mean, Alan can set up Blast Camp, and then you guys, like I said, Justin can just walk you through exactly how to do it. And then you can take that and duplicate it at your house or at a field, where you can basically do what Justin did for you to people. You see what I'm saying? And then they can practice and get it. And even if they don't practice on their own, you can at least, now you can go, okay, I know if you're like me, you're going to start writing process documents. That's what I do. I write process document, and then I give that to people. Here you go. This tells you how to go, where to go, what to do. Memorize it.
Yep.
If you're not going to play the game, then here's the document. Memorize the process of the flow chart.
Yeah. Because I still need you. I still need you to do something.
Right. And that's, what I told people. If you're just here to play paintball, you've got 17 hours of paintball. But for you don't want to recruit people that are just coming to play the field. You want people that want to come play the app.
Right.
Or want to play for you so much they will use the app even though they don't want to.
Okay.
Just because the more people you have on the app, the better advantage you're going to have. Because aside from Delta, Justin's probably going to have all of the RKE early development people. They, of course, are all going to be on the app.
Right. Right. I know. And that's what I got to get across. I got to get across to the guys that, want to come and want to play like the outside of Delta. Is that, hey, I need you guys to learn this app.
Well, the truth of the matter is that it's going to be an easy sell to the people that like running mission cards. If you've got somebody that likes to hold the mission card, they're going to get the phone. If you get somebody that likes to play an MOS, they're normally used to having to carry something extra. They're probably going to want to use the phone. Okay. The guys that don't, you may want to have some of them. I'm not telling you don't tell people not to come if they don't use the app, because again, you're going to need ballers. You're going to need ballers. Yeah. You're going to need that. I'm just telling you, as a mindset, as you bring people in, you're constantly trying to find people that are open to using the app. And even like we had a couple of guys, he didn't really understand the app, but after he used it, he was like, okay, I see what you're trying to reach, and to reach me, I need this and this and this. And so we started looking at, okay, how can we reach that person? I mean, even to the point where we're starting to come up with a beginner's module, an intermediate module, and then an advanced module, so you can open up the data you want, but at a basic level, it's just voice over IP and location. You know what I'm saying? You can talk to people, and this is where you are and where other people are. But if you want to unlock it and see more, then you can switch those particular modes and go from there. Okay. Right. And like Justin said, you invite the non-phone users to tease them. So if the model I use that really works for a lot of people is mission card. Only one person can carry the mission card, but you need a team of motherfuckers to run that mission.
Yeah. But no, in this case, everybody has a mission card. You still got to run at a team of motherfuckers, but you all have a mission card. You all can complete that mission.
Right. It makes it easier for you, easier for them if they can get over that initial hump.
Right.
But, I mean, Justin and Jason can tell you now they've used a phone at every game since Firefly. So, going on 5-6 games now, and they've never damaged their phone. And they've played every time there's hours on the field, they're out there.
Okay. All right. Well, like I said, I'm excited. I am. You already know I am. I don't have to say that out loud. You already know I am.
Jason brought 3 brand new players just because they wanted to use the app. They had never played even paintball. And Justin brought 2. And I mean, their first introduction was, here you go. Here's the app. Here's how you do it. So, it's got its merits in that. But again, you got to have that on there. And like Justin said, a burner phone exclusively. I mean, you can get I commanded a game with a $40 phone, $40 burner phone from Walmart.
I mean, yeah, because realistically, I mean, like I said, either I hotspot my phone or I drop my SIM card in there. It doesn't matter. I just care more about, if you care about your phone, you can take your service to a beater, and you don't care about a beater.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like and I tell people, you buy a Baofeng radio, you can buy a decent tablet or a decent. I mean, use your kid's Leap Pad. I all had Bobby. We were originally looking at that. I was going to get him a fucking rubber encased fucking Leap Pad.
Like the
hey, if it's good enough for a fucking 5-year-old, it's good enough for a paintball field.
There you go. I'm with it.
A 5-year-old can't beat it, drop it, kick it, stomp it. What the fuck's a paintball player going to do to it?
That's true. That is true. But like I said, I'm for it. We gonna drop these pins tomorrow. I'm gonna try to drop them tomorrow. If I'm dropping tomorrow, I'm gonna drop them for sure this week, Sunday, because my kid's birthday is this weekend. So yeah, I'm gonna spend some time with her, spend some time with the family. But I'm gonna get these pins dropped because I want to be able to do this.
See, there you go, Justin. $200 for an unlocked Samsung 7 Active, waterproof, shockproof, everything.
Shit, there you go. Let me see all. And the operating system on it makes for the app, so you can.
We rolled it back to
I saw that. Yeah, I think I did see that. I think I did see that in one of the updates.
Yep. But we did find, believe it or not, just like paintball guns, the hero devices, the more higher end phone you got, the better the experience is for you, the faster it is. I mean, it's
sure.
It's just like a fucking gun.
I'm sure.
I mean, you can get in on the low end, or you can step in, because I'm gonna tell you, it was rather nice walking around with my fucking 12-inch goddamn iPad. Being able to see.
I bet it was because you can see so much. Like I said, and that's why I took my iPad with me, because you can see so much.
Right. So, but yeah.
All right. Well, stick around for a second, TV. Mike, take us out. We're gonna kill this here. Stick around in the back room. Of everybody that rock with us this whole time, we appreciate it. Thank you, Cal, Lacey. I see you in a couple weeks, or in a week and a few days. Everybody else, see you when I see you.
Right.
Yeah, same. Yeah, all of that.